2023, 4 men walked into the blank check offices to record a podcast. They had survived a 3-hour and 28-minute record on Fight Club. This episode is dedicated to them.
So, is this a tagline?
No, this is the title card that opens the film.
Okay. You didn't want to do the tagline I found?
I can do that as well. I think it sucks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Their podcast was just the beginning.
Indeed.
Their escape was just the beginning.
But how about this tagline? Every loss is another fight. So every loss is another podcast.
Every podcast is another fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of true.
One battle after another, if you know what I'm saying.
That's the tagline for the film The Way Back.
Oh, sure.
With Ben Affleck.
Fuck, you stepped on my bit.
I was going to make...
Okay, so what was your...
I was going to say, it's really weird that Peter Weir came out of retirement to make this high school basketball movie.
It wouldn't be that weird of him. It sounds like a good movie.
My bit was going to be...
It's weird that Peter Weir made this, 80s throwback water park movie.
Okay, right.
Okay, all right, so that's what I was about to do, my other tagline.
So I had a 2-stage bit, which was going to be, one, just let's get this out of the way. We all agree this is Ben Affleck's best performance, right?
You could do that.
Then I was going to pretend I had watched the wrong movie. Then I was going to say, no, of course I'm joking. It is surprising that Peter Weir came out of retirement to make an 80s water park movie, though.
Well, or, I mean, you could say, we're talking about The Way Back at this point.
Right, that's a different film.
Not a sequel to this movie.
No.
Right, but you could argue, yeah, it's funny. I did not anticipate the sequel being about, you get it.
They came out pretty close together, did they not?
The Way Back is 2013, and it's got a great tagline. And I really want you to hear it.
I can't wait to hear it. My ears are open.
We've all been there. It's just
hell yeah,
people
brother.
just walking into the theater and just collapsing into a coma reading that tagline.
Yeah, brother. I remember.
We've all been there.
I remember thinking.
The Way Back, which is sitting in the back of a car.
Read the cast of The Way Back.
I'm about Alex. Sometimes you and I are just. I was like, I have to read this cast aloud. Steve Carell, Toni Collette,
Rooster himself.
Is that the show? The new show?
We just get better.
We just completed rewatching The Pacific, and every time we started an episode, there was an ad for Rooster, and it became every time I would go, oh, it's Rooster.
I've been HBO Maxing, and it feels like they drop a Rooster ad every mid-sentence, every line of dialogue.
The utter sickness of Bill Lawrence, who obviously has contributed good things to our society, but now it's just do you want to do another show? And he's like, sure, it's a guy, I don't know, he's got to learn a lesson or something. Where's my money? Yeah, but we'll cast a really famous guy in the role.
David, you're forgetting something.
Tell me.
Rooster's the biggest hit show HBO Max has had in 5 years.
It is not.
They have claimed as much.
They had a Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
They've said it is their biggest premiere.
Sure, fine.
In years.
Biggest premiere starring Steve Carell set in a university or whatever Rooster is.
Title named after Fowl.
Yeah.
Right. This is our biggest chicken-related, poultry-related drama.
So way back.
The other thing you have to remember is it was an incredible chess move against having to lead the Scrubs reboot. Which was running
he's not. Is he just collecting a check on the Scrubs
Correct.
reboot? I mean, he must have.
He blessed it.
Yeah, he came in and threw the football around for a day.
David,
can't do
David,
it.
terrible news. He's stuck in an overall deal with Warner Brothers. Oh no! He wishes he could run Scrubs. It feels like a normal writer's room.
A very flesh and blood writer's room.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Humans.
Air brought in and out of the lungs in that writer's room by all the participants.
The people who are giving notes are people and not cybernetic partners of humans.
Steve Carell, Toni Collette. Little Miss Sunshine so far. Allison Janney. Wow. She's
great in that movie. She would have made my 5 that year.
Okay, that's insane.
That's the one she should have won the Oscar for.
Anna Sophia Robb.
Yeah, we love her.
Was she Carrie? Wasn't she young
She
Carrie?
was Carrie. She wrote the diaries.
Sam Rockwell. He's being a jerk, right? Or is he nice?
No, he's nice.
Okay, he's nice. It's Carell who's a jerk.
Carell first build is weird outside of his star power.
He's a star, yeah.
Sam Rockwell is like Bill Murray in Meatballs, where it's this guy's too cool for school, and then he takes the sad kid under his wing, and he's like, I'm actually sensitive too.
Cool.
He's the mentor.
Sounds like a loser. Maya Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph is his wife or long-term partner.
Great. Rob Corddry. The tail end of Corddry being sneak me onto the poster. You know, I can get on there.
I think Cordry and Amanda
Children's Hospital still airing.
Pete are their parents' fun friends.
Amanda Pete rudely below Rob Corddry.
Yeah.
And Liam James. Is that the kid?
Yes.
I mean, I'm dashing to the theater. We've all been there.
Yeah. This is a coming-of-age movie with only adults in it?
And Liam James and Anna Sophia Robb.
But that's two.
No, but I know
children.
The overwhelming amount of like, look, there's guys from gentle Sundancey comedies of other, you know.
But wasn't this a giant Sundance movie?
It was. It was a big purchase,
like 20 million sale, 2 million gross kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't quite a full Happy Texas, but it was maybe a 10 and a 5.
Let's find out. I'm
guessing it was a 10 and a 5.
Do you think anyone today, other than people watching the skies at that time, remember Happy Texas?
You know,
Happy Texas is only remembered because of the
exactly.
The Sundance
it's not
spot.
even like I feel like now people like Hamlet too. Sometimes people are like secretly a good movie, but I feel like Happy Texas only comes up in this derisive
I don't think it's like
context.
on streaming.
I was going to ask.
It feels a little lost. Happy Texas, I remember liking.
It's
like
a perfectly good movie.
Perfectly fun. And I remember my brother and I being at like the video store, Couch Potato Video across the street. My brother Jamesy and I being like, "What's this?" And my dad's like, "Happy Texas." That's like the most expensive Sundance buy of all time. It flamed out, and we were like, "Interesting." Watched it like 4 years after its irrelevancy and liked it. Critical Darlings podcast under the Blank Check Productions banner that I've been executive producing did an episode on Train Dreams and the history of like Sundance movies at the Oscars, especially as it's now like the original form of Sundance has now come to an end. And I was just eagerly typing in the notes, bring up Happy Texas. Happy Texas must be discussed. You must go through the process of explaining Happy Texas to Ben Frisch. It is important that it exists as a cultural reference point forever. We cannot let it slide into oblivion.
I need to correct the record on the way back.
Okay.
Fox Searchlight purchased it for $10 million
I guess
at Sundance, which was a lot. Like, that was a big deal. But it made $21.5 million in North America.
Domestically?
Domestic.
So
and an
it doubled-
additional 5 world.
It doubled the
elsewhere.
investment.
That's a lot more than The Way Back made.
Yeah.
They snuck it.
I guess because they had an extra way, so that's more
But
money.
I mean, like, do we agree that if we're ranking way backs, Affleck I would put 1, and Way is a solid 3rd, or are we putting Peter Weir in 3rd? I would not.
I like the Way.
But fair enough.
Now, if you were wanking,
if you're wanking,
what's your order?
These are 3 films that are not really going for eroticism.
If you had to Way or watch Richard E. Grant's Wawa, which would you prefer, Way or Wawa?
Well, look, Way is Temu Adventureland, but I like Adventureland so much, I'll settle for off-brand Adventureland. I struggled with this movie a bit. I think it is very well made. I'm not like...
I meant
did you just say fuck?
Yeah, I meant to put the sound all the way up, the gain,
sure.
so that it just, the whole episode sounded blown out and just like really harsh and hard to listen to.
Good.
So that it mirrors the movie.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And then should our faces like kind of crinkle and get all dried up and our lips get all like chapped and
if we
want to
get an Oscar nomination, sure.
Yeah.
Best makeup. This movie is only major nomination.
I'm going to have to confiscate all of the liquids.
Yeah.
No one's drinking.
I watched on the Blu-ray, there was a featurette. There was like a 30-minute making of with all the actors. And Ed Harris has the most blown out audio I have ever heard. It sounds like he was recording in the middle of a tornado. It is insane because you're watching it and you're like, oh, I guess they must have done this one over Zoom or something. And then you're like, no, it was 2010.
It's crazy.
What's the excuse?
You're talking in special features.
Making of. I'm talking making
Ben's
of.
talking about the movie.
Yeah.
The movie itself, also bad.
Yeah.
So
well,
maybe it was the same sound guy, same sound department.
They
I
were
don't
filming
know.
in pretty harsh conditions.
It's a windy movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
You don't
but
have
still.
to. You don't have to fuck with windscreens in here.
It would be funny if they all had windscreens.
Yeah. This is a windscreen.
Yeah.
This
No, I mean in the
sure.
movie.
Oh, sure.
Like Colin Farrell's like, I'll knife you when he's holding up a windscreen.
It'd
It's
also
not
be
an
funny if they
important
were
bit.
all like holding up lavs between their fingers, even though the clip is the part that's supposed to go on your shirt, but they were doing like the TikToker thing.
That's what the TikTokers do.
That's what the TikTokers do.
You know who doesn't know about TikTokers? The characters of the way back.
Yeah. Here's an immediate
that was deft.
An immediate reveal of how little I had ever engaged with this movie until watching it last night, like seriously engaged. It starts, and like from that first title card, I was like, oh, this movie isn't about Irish people? I just assumed you got Colin
because
Farrell
Colin and Saoirse
and
are
Saoirse, and I'm
involved.
like, Sturgess swings Irish a lot. I know he's actually British, but I feel like he
He's a
plays Irish a
Londoner.
lot.
He's definitely played Irish, I think. Yeah.
Right, and I'm like, Ed Harris could play Irish. I was so confident this was a movie about like the fucking potato famine or something. I had no.
It is one of those movies with a poster. You're like, I don't know. It looks like these guys are having a bad time doing
Truly.
something.
I
I don't know
my
what.
full level of engagement with this movie is these characters are struggling. These actors on the poster are struggling in some way, and I think they're walking a lot.
That has the same game that sometimes we do a movie like not this, but bigger ones. Like you could say to like somebody before they watch The Year of Living Dangerously.
Sure.
What do you think this movie's about?
Yes.
And it's one of those things where people are like, I don't know. I've heard of this title forever.
Right.
I mean, you know, maybe it's about like alcoholic relationship of people that really, you know, it's a Days of Wine and Roses kind of thing.
Or it could be like Yes Man. It's like he does 1 year living really dangerously.
Right. He says the most. He
does the most dangerous way of doing everything.
Sometimes we throw that out as a challenge when we're watching something like famously at home. Anna had never seen Rain Man. And before we started it, this was years ago, I said, what do you think this movie's about? She said, it's about like a guy who's like a savant at gambling and he makes it rain in Las Vegas because all she'd ever seen was the shot in the casino.
And
I was like, that's what you think this entire movie's about. This is like a gambling 21 to bring.
And that's why it's
21's Jim
Man.
Sturgess, right?
It is.
Okay, so she thought it was like 21, like a guy who fixes gambling.
I was looking at the timeline because Social Network comes out the same year as this movie.
2010, sure. Yes. Yeah.
Andrew Garfield just fucking blew Jim Sturgess to the black wall.
I was,
to the back
like
wall.
who market corrected Jim Sturgess? Like I was looking at that too.
I was like, he was really, they were pushing him hard, and then it felt like he completely slipped into oblivion. And watching it, I was just like, oh, this brand of like intense sensitivity in the face of adversity became, you know, like one of Andrew Garfield's superpowers.
I neglected to look up Jim Sturgess so that we could have the fun
we'll have a look at Jim because it is like my wife was like, who's that? You know, because it's like Colin Farrell and whoa, Saoirse Ronan's into this, and she's like, and who's that? And I'm like, Jim Sturgess, but I might as well just be going like it's just like it's like the name of a handsome sounding
but like
guy.
4 years was a thing.
Are we going to say he was
the universe?
No, we're going to do his career.
Okay, we're going to.
I'm arguing like, was he ever a thing? Hollywood was trying to make him a thing.
Hollywood
there was a thought that he could be a thing.
I think Hollywood was acting like he already was a thing.
But that's what they do all the time.
Yes.
And sometimes it works.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the Colin Farrell thing where people are like, we sort of agreed that he was a thing, but you're trying a little too hard to make him a thing. Put him away.
Yeah.
And then after a few years, they're like, he was a thing. Like, let's get him back. Open up the box. Where'd Colin go?
I mean, we'll do it, but it's so funny to actually go through the Colin Farrell filmography item by item because you think of it in your mind as like, oh, and then he totally bottomed out, and then he had a clean comeback, and then he bottomed out. It's always up and down. He never stops working, but it's always like a good choice, a bad choice, 2 good choices, 3 bad choices. Yeah.
It feels like someone paying the bills.
I think if he had been, if Colin Farrell here in this movie, 5 years earlier or 5 years later, people would have really lined up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like earlier, it's like, man, this guy can do anything. And later it would be like, Colin Farrell's like always kind of good. And like, it's cool that he's in this big auteur movie in a small part. We love Colin Farrell.
He's fantastic.
But at this point, people were kind of like, that's enough of this guy.
Yeah, also, it's like 5 years earlier, he would have been the Jim Sturgess part. And this movie would have been legitimate.
Colin being in this movie was so excited to David Sims.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Like,
you
Peter Weir,
didn't see it for 14
but
years.
This is what I'm saying.
Wild. Yeah.
Like, it's like Peter Weir's making his follow-up to Master and Commander. I'm like, sounds good. And they're like, it's like a true story drama about, and I'm like, okay, sounds fine. Like, but Colin Farrell's in it. And I was like, I love that.
He's got the and.
He's got the sort of plum supporting role.
Peter Weir's letting him do a character actor part.
And then the review, the film came out and everyone was like, it's okay, sort of handsome. And I was like, oh, and then it was gone. From theaters. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I missed it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll wait for Peter Weir's next movie.
Never.
Still waiting.
I have very clear memory of trying to see this at Union Square and just not getting around to it.
Like you were like walking around the hallways and
I just like back at that time, like you would just write down showtimes and be like, this week I could go see, and I just remember Post-it note, Union Square, the way back, like I just was like, oh,
Memento style.
I could go see that like this week or next week because I really want to go see it.
Yes.
Didn't happen.
Never happened.
No,
I saw it years ago.
But
But
I
you
saw
did
it
see it.
years after that.
Well, I assume you saw it as part of one of your sort of projects.
Yes.
And we can talk about that, but we should first say what the podcast
Project of
is.
watching good movies.
Of course. The eternal project we're all part of. What's the podcast?
This podcast is called Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
I'm David.
You almost just fell for it. You started looking at an email. You almost missed the cue.
I almost did.
You were like
actually
3 seconds slow.
Someone actually texted me, who do you think will win Blank Check March Madness?
The carbon date this episode record. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, ooh. And I had my brain did a little
Yeah,
thought.
I should vote while you guys are off on some
please
tangent.
Who texted you and how are you going to answer?
Ellen Cushing, host of Hits Different.
Your secret podcast.
It's not a secret. I want everyone to listen to it. But I said I'm still thinking it's going to be Marty Tony. And I think I'd bet Tony, but very soft. Like, I put a flutter down, like a $10 on Tony. Like, I'm not feeling too secure.
Also, much like Wes Anderson movies often have one burst of ecstatic violence.
Right.
Perhaps he just shanks Tony Scott.
It would be funny if we're like, oh, Tony's a juggernaut. And then, he gets blown in half by Wes Anderson in a very artful way.
Yeah.
But no, I think that would be my guess. I mean, what's your guess? Is it if we're carbon dating the episode now?
I feel like it's swinging Tony, but maybe I'm very wrong about
I'm
this.
just making the Tony guess on we've already said the sort of like, well, there's just the mildest backlash to Marty the Juggernaut. And so maybe Tony benefits.
Don't tell me who I'm going to vote for.
But that I don't really know.
Yeah.
I can't get in the brains of these crazy people.
They voted for Chris fucking Columbus over Oliver
Here we
Stone.
go. I was going to tee you up for that.
You can't predict anything.
And I think he's going to sneak by whoever he's up against today. Gus Van Sant, right?
Yeah.
That was a war crime to watch. Speaking of sending to the gulag, like 5,000 gulag seats needed for people that looked at
Why
the
are
last
you here?
10 years of Columbus and were like,
I voted
that
for
would be...
Chris Columbus.
Yeah, I really want them to cover Pixels and Christmas Chronicles 2, but not 1. Like
a Pixels episode would
Pixels
go
episode will be
fairly
a heater.
hard.
Christmas Chronicles will be a nightmare.
There's a couple
That
of
might be tough.
Yeah.
And the fucking Thursday Murder Club.
Oh yeah, Jesus. Yeah, the Netflix run is really bad. But I mean, Chris Columbus is currently like a folding Gus Van Sant, like one of his flannel shirts, right?
Here's the insane thing to me.
Edging by. He's
Obviously,
not folding.
my support of you guys doing Oliver Stone needs no introduction at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the insane thing about people voting for Chris Columbus.
You'd
have to keep covering his movies.
It is true that we would be
Don't
setting
they realize that this guy makes like a Netflix piece of shit every 2 years?
I'm happy to report this. I wish him no ill will. He seems very healthy.
He does.
Like, I'm not looking at Chris Columbus being like this guy's near retirement.
No,
he seems
an
like
ox.
he's in great shape.
He's got 4 decades of bullshit left.
But he could honestly, like, there's no bottom to what he could end up making next.
Now, I want to share with you,
he's
Alex.
adding to the ledger. Oh, yeah. JJ Bird,
in our group thread,
researcher.
a researcher was saying he secretly wants Columbus to win.
Yeah,
He
in
doesn't-
fact,
he
he
doesn't
prefaced it
understand
with, "I'm keeping quiet about this." So it's really
he
it's a
wants him
kindness
to
of us to
win
share it on
so
mic.
that he can have several months off because you guys would cover someone no one writes about or gives a fuck about.
Right. His dossiers would be like 1 page.
Be like, yeah,
It'd be
here's
like,
this
Pixels was released on this date.
Christmas Chronicles 2 was
Based
like
on a
the,
dumb idea Adam Sandler
He's
had.
figured out the way to like Bialystok
Yeah.
his like job.
Yeah, this movie had 1 public screening. It was like the Family Heartland Gala at the Nebraska Film Festival. Columbus did 1 interview for it. Here it is.
It won.
The family heart.
It won like the Dove Family Gentleness Award.
Chris Columbus has made 3 of the most successful films ever made in the history of Hollywood.
We're saying Home
as
Alone,
a commercial enterprise.
Home Alone.
Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Harry fucking Potter.
Sure. So,
Yeah.
but 2 Harry Potters, 2 Home
Don't
Alones,
forget-
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Exactly. The sequels, which are less exciting.
But 5 of the highest grossing
and I mean, I
films
love
in
you.
history.
Beth Cooper made a Bill 5, right?
It did, but that's the Rust bump. We can't give that to him.
Yeah, we could have Rust on that episode.
We could.
I have no idea how he feels about that.
I think he
movie.
probably wants to do Percy Jackson instead. This is a podcast about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion products they want, and sometimes those checks clear, and sometimes they walk a really fucking long way. This movie should be called The Long Walk, right? I assume they couldn't because of the fucking Stephen King book.
I assume so. Obviously, it is based on a book called The Long Walk. So it's interesting that they did not. But yeah, maybe they were worried they would come off as a adaptation of a Stephen King
Call
story.
it The Longest Walk or something. I mean, like, the way back tells me nothing. And this movie starts, and I'm like, oh, the premise is they have to walk.
They're also not going back anywhere. They're
No, they're
going
not.
somewhere none of them have been before.
No.
That is true. I don't. I think this is like a fairly good movie. I think it's fairly well done. Yada yada.
It's well made.
I think the answer to all of our questions is like, don't make this movie. Make something else. Just make something else.
Who are you talking to in this?
Peter
scenario?
Weir. Yeah. Like, where I'm just like, if this is going to be your last thing and you're going to put a lot of effort into it, I think you should do something else.
But do you think he called this was his last thing? And here's
I'm not sure that he did.
Here's
We can
a
look at
theory
the
I want
research.
to put forward. Do we think, Ethan Hawke gave this interview recently, because this is a miniseries on the films of Peter Weir. It's called Podnick and Hanging Cast. And our guest today, of course, is Alex Ross Perry.
Now,
returning after my banishment has been lifted.
We're going to pin in this.
I have some news.
In this.
This
what?
is his 10th episode.
Is that right? Of main feed. Wow.
Of main feed, unless I'm wrong about something. I'm going to read them out now.
And I brought gifts for you guys.
Can I try to guess them?
Sure.
Fuck.
You want to go in order?
I forgot to wear my Hollow Man hat today. I was going to do that to memorialize your run. Okay. So it starts with
Insomnia.
Which I rewatched recently.
Good movie.
Yeah. Because my insomnia has been out of control.
Oh,
and I
boy.
was like, it's time to check in
sleep.
with Detective Dormer. Let me sleep. Garbage bags.
The garbage scene is in the Skarsgård version.
Yeah.
I like when I watched the original, like Insomnia, because it's on Criteria. I bought it at some point.
And just announced as a new deluxe second sight 4K
That's
package.
okay. No, I'm fine with my Criterion Blu-ray. But like, there's the scene where Skarsgård's like picking up garbage. I'm like, wow, this is just all in the original.
Yeah.
Like, anyway,
I do think the Nolan's better.
I agree. Yes, it is definitely better. Skarsgård's really good in it.
Insomnia. Then is it Hollow Man and then The Keep?
Hollow Man and then
Taking Woodstock.
There you go.
Taking Woodstock.
Those
Then
are the ones I remember doing at Audio Boom.
Those are the first 4 in studio. The 5th was a remote episode.
And that was always when it was, can I pick the least relevant film?
Which I have done, again, I argue.
We've come back around to it, because then when we get onto Zoom, it swings into...
Well, Lucky Numbers was irrelevant.
Oh, you're right.
That was
that's the end of the irrelevancy.
Not to Ben's landlord who bought the tape and kept it sealed, but is irrelevant to most people.
We still have it here in the office.
Yeah.
On DVD and VHS.
Yeah, well, I brought the DVD and then Ben brought the tape.
And then it swings around to 4 of the most important movies in your history as a person. So then it's Halloween, right? Halloween?
Correct.
Into Fight Club.
Nope. You're missing one. Bit of a contentious episode.
Now I have to think of what we did at Ben's house.
Clockwork Orange.
Correct. And so the Halloween and Clockwork Orange, those were at Ben's place.
Sure.
And then the most recent 2 he
I
did.
think Clockwork Orange was here.
Nope.
No.
It was at Ben's house.
It was
I
at
drove
Ben's
you
house.
home after.
Okay.
That must have been
remember
a
well.
fun ride
I
home.
have referenced
it
this
was,
on the
because then
podcast before. It was.
You worked it out.
We didn't have to work out anything. Everything was fine. Everyone on this Reddit is always like, Jesus, you could cut the tension in the room.
Right,
with
we
a
got
knife.
home and in the
was so
drive we
fucking crazy.
analyzed the career of Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah,
post
perfect.
Malone. While David blasted the Prodigy and said, I listen to this song every day.
So I wasn't like, Alex, it was really fucked up in there. I'm really mad at you. Like, there was no atmosphere.
David was like,
except in the room when I was
he
like,
was like, you
Jesus
see,
Christ.
when MC Maxim
Ben
Reality
Roberts.
entered into this particular phase of his rhymes.
But wait, there was one after Fight Club, right?
Correct. His most recent
Elephant
episode.
Man.
Elephant Man.
Right
So
here.
that's
Right
9,
here.
and this is 10, and you are back to maybe the less relevant episode.
Perhaps.
Film
We've
in
swung
a
back.
But I've also
filmmaker's
never
filmography.
done the last movie.
You've never done the last film,
Never been here for a ranking.
Oh, that's right.
although we're going to have to fit our ranking in, record it later.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
because you haven't watched
probably-
all the movies yet.
I haven't. I mean, I've seen all the movies, but I haven't rewatched Year of Living Dangerously yet. I've only seen that film once.
I've never seen that, and I've only seen Master and Commander once, so I desperately need to rewatch
Right.
before
I have
a rank.
feeling that Master and Commander might be number 1 on my list, not to spoil. So
Interesting.
that
You guys
one
haven't. You guys
yes.
haven't done those episodes yet.
Those are the 2 we haven't done.
Correct.
Were either of you present at Lincoln Center for the Peter Weir retrospective around when this movie came out?
No.
He was there.
No, I just had
He
moved to-
came.
yeah.
It was
He
like
made it weird.
a week of Q&As. Yeah, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
But it was centered around this.
I believe so. I could be
Let
wrong.
me look
In my
it up.
mind, it was 2010. So I think it was sort of in conjunction with this movie.
If he was doing a retrospective, I mean, that makes sense. Yes, it was January 2011.
Which is when this.
I mean, it was when this is probably going wide. This film came out.
Wasn't-
Oh no, I didn't mean.
Isn't
to
it
click
early
that.
2011?
Came out early 2011.
Yeah. So
yeah.
it was
So
like.
it has a qualifying run in 2010, gets nominated.
No, it didn't have. Oh, no, wait, did it?
I think it's a festival 2010.
It's a festival 2010.
It's a festival 2010. It's a proper theatrical 2011.
Right? Because it loses to The Wolfman for makeup.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And that is the 20. So it must have had some pathetic qualifying.
It must have a pathetic piece of shit qualifying run.
I mean, truly, yes, Griffin.
Yeah.
December 29th, 2010, Los Angeles, California. Like, they don't even allow that at the Oscars anymore. They're kind of like, what? We coughed it onto theaters for like one day on like New Year's Eve.
I mean, this was an Image and New Market co-distribution deal.
Yeah. So, but it came out, and it's not even wide, but like sort of 600 screens, January 2011.
So neither one of you were not present at this retrospect.
No.
It was great.
No, I didn't have any money.
It was, well, I mean, you can go see a movie.
No, you're forgetting, Alex, it did infamously cost $1 million a ticket for the Peter Weir retrospect.
It was great, but he was there for almost all the Q&As. I saw him do a Q&A at a double feature of Year of Living Dangerously and The Mosquito Coast.
That's cool.
And then I think he just gave like a talk. I think there was like a 90-minute like discussion some other day.
His muggiest movies.
Yes.
Those are the two most kind of like
being,
damp-aired films that he made.
I had already liked those movies, but seeing them at Walter Reed on film with him, it was like, man, these are the best. Like this guy's just, and I saw Gallipoli there. I saw a bunch of movies because I was kind of filling in the gaps.
Sure.
And it was really a really successful series for me.
I mean, this has been a successful series for us. He's made really interesting, great movies, some of which I know well, some of which I'd like seen 0 to 1 times. And they were all rewarding. And even this, which was the true, I'll get to it. I know I should see. I know Peter Weir made it for basically the last 15 years. I've been like, no, I'm planning on getting to that.
That's strange because to me, this is an incredibly easy to watch movie.
I found this film so hard to watch.
Like I'm getting to that is like, well, it's 170 minutes long. Everybody thinks it's bad. This is
133.
Yeah, but that's
short.
Yeah, but it's Rock'em Sock'em.
I would say
very early in the movie.
You described this movie as Rock'em Sock'em.
So I did not find it as hard as I'm unsurprised to learn Griffin.
I don't think this is a bad film, and it wasn't like I was like squirming in my seat in discomfort, but I did find it to be a bit of a slog, a handsome,
would you have enjoyed this
well-intentioned slog
in a 4DX re-release?
No question.
This movie would,
if the steps were happening, the subtle steps,
or like
it's like you coughing, the seat coughs for you.
A treadmill screening.
Yes, I'd love a slow treadmill screen.
It would spray dirty water in your face.
Yeah, mosquitoes would come out.
But imagine how satisfying it would be when they get to the water in the middle of the desert, and suddenly they're just spraying water directly into your mouth.
Look,
like a fucking water fountain.
I would say I thought this film was going to be a little more like brutal and tough to watch and slow, and I was when I watched. I was like, no, this moves because I'm like, right, because Peter Weir's like a good director, and like this isn't quite the slug I thought it was going to be. I would not call it Rock'em Sock'em.
You don't think the gulag break is Rock'em Sock'em?
I reserve that term for robots only.
Yeah,
Real Steel is a Rock'em Sock'em movie.
Yes.
It is.
I mean, if it wasn't, then they really blew the assignment.
I'm not saying it's good, but it does have that Sean Levy feeling. You saying I would tell Peter Weir just make something else, right?
I think so.
I was watching this 30-minute making of thing, and everyone is talking about how difficult an experience this film was.
Yeah.
But they're talking about it in the window between when they have wrapped and when the movie is released, and they all clearly feel like this is going to be a historic effort. Everyone is going to talk about. They're not like.
There's no reason not to think that. He had achieved that at this point for almost 30 years straight.
But this was like a 4-month shoot of them fighting the elements.
Sounds good.
And they're all like, and by like day 20, the line between acting and reality is blurred, and we're feeling the real things, and we're all in it together. No one has any egos, and we felt such a responsibility to tell this story. To like go through such a Herculean effort to make this movie. And then have it treated with such a shrug, just like a complete kind of, it doesn't exist. Ethan Hawke in that interview
I play this movie in Cinematrix all the time.
It's a smart play.
It's a good play.
Ethan Hawke had that interview that gets recirculated all the time where he said like, oh, my buddy Peter Weir's retired. after years of people being like, is Peter Weir going to make anything again?
Yeah.
And he said, Peter's retired and the industry kind of broke him and it stopped knowing how to make the kind of movies that he wants to make and he's good at. And also he got broken by like movie star egos. Right. And the two things he cited were how difficult a time he had working with Crow on Master and Commander.
Yes.
And that the other thing, was it supposed to be after this that he was going to make Shantaram?
That certainly was.
So.
We can talk about it. I'm sure
that was
that's
Johnny Depp's passion project. And he said the process of dealing with Depp in development for like 2 years
now,
broke
that's
him.
Interesting. I haven't heard anything about Johnny Depp being tough to deal with.
And Ethan Hawke pinned it just on the industry changed and he stopped being able to deal with A-list leading men who were no longer collaborators, who were sort of, dictators, right?
Yeah.
Whereas before he had been this guy where A-list men would trust him to mold them. I watched this and I'm like, I get why he retired. To put this much into making this.
Right.
And just have it treated with a shrug.
Right.
It seems like you guys have more research, hopefully, than I do, which is zero. It seems like he tried other things after this. He wasn't like...
I think there was some sort... But he's now just said, like, I don't have the energy.
Right.
And, like, it's interesting because Master and Commander is now... A movie that was liked at the time has now become this, like, canonical movie.
Yes.
I think he appreciates that, but then there's also the sort of melancholy of, like, I didn't get to make another one. I wanted to. Like...
Master and Commander had, like, 8 Oscar nominations, right?
10.
It's crazy that
it just went up against Return of the King, and it still snuck a couple.
Aside
wins.
from it just not winning, but it's just crazy that catapulted him to nothing. That makes me feel like Shantaram might have, or whatever.
Shantaram.
Good thing that didn't get. I mean, I think that became a TV show.
It became an Apple Plus original series.
Yes,
of course, with Charlie Hunnam.
Yes, yeah, we all know.
It was almost Mira Nair, Peter Weir, and I think there was a third major director who almost made it with Johnny Depp, and then like 10 years later, it became an Apple Plus series that no one watched.
It's a good thing we didn't have to learn how to actually say that.
I just
do you remember?
Yes, what?
That there was a Hulu original series about Sean Penn going to Mars, in which they never actually went to Mars because. In classic streaming series, fashion, season 1 ends with them like going to go to Mars.
We've discovered
tomorrow.
a new planet in our telescope.
And then they're like, no one watched this. Season 2 has been canceled. So you didn't actually even get to watch Sean Penn go to Mars.
It was a Beau Willimon show, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. I truly forgot that existed until you mentioned it right now.
I think that's what he was promoting when he was on Maron, saying he's retiring.
Yes.
And it's like, I've done everything.
Smelting his Oscars or whatever.
Full-time into books. We all love his books.
Yeah, of course. Bob Honey Who Do Stuff.
Both of you read Bob Honey Who Do Stuff to your daughters every night, right?
Every day.
Honey.
Sean
Penn.
Ben, look up the cover of Bob Honey Who Do Stuff.
Look up
Bob Honey Who Do
Google
Stuff.
I believe it's
hang on.
Who Just Do Stuff.
Hang on. How do you think you spell honey in the title of Sean Penn's novel?
Like honey.
Nope.
No. Think a little bit more Winnie the Pooh.
HUNN.
You're on the right track.
EE?
I don't know. It's something like that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that it's honey spelled regular. I will say. I will.
I refuse to revise my memory of what the title is.
That's a true show that doesn't exist, David. And I want to correct myself.
As is Shantaram with Charlie Hunnam or whatever.
I think my joke about the first was too kind. Season 1 would end with someone making the telescope.
This is for kids?
Season 2 would end with them.
No, it's how you introduce your kids to sophisticated political satire.
This is a book for grown ass people.
I think he's written multiple Bob Honey.
I think
two.
The Bob Honey Chronicles.
It's like some kind of, it's not Forrest Gumpy, but it's like some kind of character who like drifts through history, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I'm pulling is from a 10-year-old episode of WTF.
But like a Forrest Gump-esque character.
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
This was...
And don't correct me.
This was him saying like, I'm done with movies. Fuck them.
Right.
I'm doing this full time. I did this Hulu show. That's my final thing as an actor.
Yeah.
And then he won a third Oscar and didn't show up.
There are 8 actors in history with 3 acting Oscars. Yeah. He is the 8th.
Yes.
He won it for an incredible performance in a movie that I think will be very well remembered that won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And when he won, everyone was like, and he didn't show up.
It being his third
it's
award
just so
and
weird.
him not showing up, people will forget that he won. I think truly it will become a like, who won Best Supporting Actor that year?
And like, apart from Walter Brennan, who, God bless him, we love him.
Walter Brennan,
he's the weirdest of the winners.
Ingrid Bergman, Katharine Hepburn, Jack Nicholson.
Correct.
Sean Penn is 5.
Ben's friend
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yep.
Meryl Streep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one more.
McDormand.
She's got a bit of a hard face these
Franny
days.
McDormand.
A bit of a a tough stare.
And she even has
it's weird
4 Academy Awards.
No, she has 3. I guess 4 if you count her producing.
Yeah.
But she has 3 acting
She has 3 acting
awards.
wins and a Best Picture.
You would think Penn and Weir would have overlapped.
You would.
They kind of hit the same.
You're rare. You're very
hit the same
right
stride around the same time.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I wonder if he ever even considered him for one
Something
of
I
those
always
big
loved
movies.
about Peter Weir, younger, watching these movies is
Mhm.
what you just said. Like, man, he really just has these like awesome men at the center
Yeah.
every time, and they're just doing some of their best work consistently.
The crazy thing is that Brennan won 3 Oscars
Mhm.
in a span of 5 years.
Yes.
For playing, I mean, I haven't seen all of the movies that he won Oscars for, but I assume basically doing the same shit every time because that's what Walter Brennan
Yeah.
always did.
Yeah.
And he was only nominated one other time. So he has a 75% track record of winning if nominated. Meryl Streep, you're like 3 Oscars. Yeah, 21 noms. She sucks.
I don't mean
She's
to be.
always striking out.
I don't mean to be rude.
Yes.
Is there not some weird explanation for the Walter Brennan thing that the rules of the Academy changed?
Well, you're thinking of possibly. Well, wasn't there a thing where he was nominated for both lead and supporting or something? Like,
Ben, just pin that I tried to steer the conversation back to Peter Weir, and David immediately brought it back to this trivia factoid that we're all tired of hearing at the end of Oscar season.
it is
No,
true
it
that
is.
Oscar season's over, and it is kind of like, who cares?
That I
Yeah.
very deftly tried to turn this Sean
Well,
Penn.
Penn
tangent.
came up. What do you mean? We were on our great Penn
Yeah.
run.
But
The
then I brought it
first,
back.
The honey thing.
I brought it back, and
Remember that?
David, who likes things to keep going in a tangential direction, was like, hang on, we'll talk about Peter Weir in a second. Walter Brennan, who never worked with Peter Weir.
That we
Yes.
know of.
I'm gonna solve this.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, Griff, but I'm not totally sure. Oh, yes. Oh, this is what it is.
Yeah.
In the early years, extras could vote,
There
which
we go.
makes no sense because, like, what does that mean? Extras could vote.
But they realized basically that
And that
he
he
was
was-
always whipping votes from the
because he
extras.
was like a nice guy that everyone liked, so they
He'd
were all
saddle
like,
up next to them
Walter
at
Brennan.
lunch, and they'd be like, "He's a man of the people."
Because there's the other thing where, like, what is it, like Betty Davis got a write-in vote, and then there's the other thing where, like, someone was nominated for both lead and supporting, and
Yes.
won in support. I don't know.
But that
They
wasn't
had to
Walter
clean up
Brennan,
all the rules,
right?
but that's not Walter.
No, who was that?
I don't fucking know.
Well,
Look,
please find out.
it's Alex's 10th appearance on,
Yes.
on Blank Check.
Now,
You're
there-
here, Alex.
there was this false
You're claiming you've
narrative.
been banned from the show.
Yeah, well, but
I mean,
at
like,
some point in
you
the
just
last,
didn't do an episode in 2025, but it's
but
only
at some
March.
point in that year, both Emily Yoshida and I conferred that you guys had gotten too big for us.
for sort of the twin flames of Blank Check and
You
and
had
so-
just
along with
outgrown some
Richard.
of your core
Right.
voices
Okay, so
in
Emily.
favor of heavies and famos.
Excuse me.
I mean, what it really
Excuse
is
me.
you guys both left the city. I mean, not to
No.
to chew on Black.
No.
Okay.
There's a bigger thing here.
Okay.
Okay.
The bigger thing is you were chasing clout and fame.
The bigger thing here is the Coen Brothers series and the early Spielberg series were both long, right? Those 2 series basically comprised a full year. We knew we were doing Lynn Ramsey after Spielberg. Is that right on the timing?
No,
After
it's
Spielberg?
Spielberg,
No.
then it's Heckerling, and then it's Coen's.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. That's what it is. We knew we were doing Lynn Ramsey after Coen's.
Mm.
So we didn't book Yoshida on a Coen's because we knew she had to do
Correct.
more Vern Kaller.
Right.
The thing with you is we have a group text called News and Deals. It is the 3 of
Famously,
us,
yeah.
Hitmaker Simons,
Yep.
David Lowry,
Mhm.
and Sean Fennessy.
Sean Hollywood Fantasy.
Yes, Sean Hollywood Fennessy.
Yep.
Tim Hitmaker Simons.
Yep.
David, everything's bigger in Texas Lowry.
David, really lovely man, Lowry.
Gentle soul Lowry.
Yes. In a thread that's like heavy on shit talking, David's really there for like I feel like a really a
Yes.
more pure energy.
I invited David to it because I was simultaneously getting a endless flurry of texts from this group text and David the day the first One Battle After Another trailer came out, and I was like,
Right.
David, would you like to?
Let's just combine these threads.
This
Yeah,
was
right.
similarly, we had a group text with Fantasy, we had a group text with Tim.
Right.
Both of them were trending towards physical media news and deal announcements. We combined them. And then this is maybe the single act I'm proudest of in my entire life.
Wow.
It's just gonna be
Wait,
good.
what are you gonna say?
One day I say to the group, what do you think about introducing ARP to this group text?
It was important because
Things are a little too
we're all a
staid
little
here.
too aligned here. Everyone kind of agrees on
There's no
everything.
friction. There's no
like the biggest
spice.
controversy is Hitmaker not liking Zodiac. Who cares? You know, we
He's
all
getting
know he's wrong.
riled up about it.
Right.
We introduced you, and it's been the greatest choice.
You roll a grenade in there every.
It's
other
improved
day.
all of our lives. You bring us so much joy and happiness.
I just don't have much else to do,
But-
so I can devote a lot of
You're a
time and
busy
thought.
man. You're a
But-
father.
But very often we will give news and deals first crack.
That's true.
If we've settled on a miniseries or we're like, hey, March Madness feels like it's trending this way.
That happened in this miniseries, and I said 2 movies, and you're like, oh, that's gone already.
Peter Weir?
Yeah.
What did he say?
The second you said we're doing Weir, I was like, I just revisited Truman Show. Like, JD's doing Truman Show.
Yeah.
When the Coens looked like they were going to win March Madness, we threw out to you guys, what were your Coens picks be? Everyone else has a choice. You say...
Oh, great. He has it up. So this is going to be a verbatim line.
Because Yoshida brought this up to me and was like, yeah, Arp and I have been complaining that we both feel like we've been shadow banned. I'm like, you're here doing an episode right now.
As am I.
And this is what Arp's not explaining to you. You said, I'd request Hail Caesar, a movie that so doesn't exist it took me 20 minutes to remember.
This is me talking.
Yes.
Yes.
Then Sim says...
Another great Cinematrix play. Because no one remembers all these people that are in the movie for one scene.
No, we thought you were just making a comment about the public rudely not remembering this film.
I was.
Sim says...
CBS Films failed that one.
That's a great art... That was Inside Llewyn Davis.
Okay, whatever.
Hail Caesar was Universal.
Sure.
David says, that's a great art pick, a great film.
And then like a month later, I was listening to
say-
some other episode, and David's like, oh, I just got a text from a friend of mine. She's going to do Hail Caesar. And I was like, I guess there goes that.
I say 5-star
Truly.
masterpiece. You give it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
You respond, another chance post Hollow Man to talk about what a dud Brolin is to me.
That's right.
I say, Alex, you're coming in ice cold with this shit.
You are. You were.
I reversed course on Brolin for weapons. I really liked him in that.
He's good in weapons.
But then
He's
he was
always
in
good.
something else after that he was bad in again. What was it? What else was he in the back half of last year?
He was in The Running Man and Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah.
I was Wake Up Dead Man that I was like, this is boring.
I mean, I feel like Wake Up Dead Man, he has kind of a boring role. Go ahead.
Later, Fantasy swinging in with his love of Buster Scruggs. You give that a thumbs down.
Relevant for the film today, because this to me is almost as good of a last film as you guys have covered. And that is to me almost as bad of a last film as you guys
This
have
is
covered.
exactly the kind of spice and flavor
This is the spice.
that Blank Check needs.
You said that you can see watching this movie that Peter Weir felt like he was ready to hang it up, which is what I felt watching Buster Scruggs at Walter Reed, a truly dispiriting screening.
Fantasy
Or
says
no, at Alice Tully.
the Netflix effect makes it non-existent, sadly. You go that plus it's a Gentleman's 6. It is so funny to me how unsuccessful Honey Don't Drive Away dolls are financially. I've seen neither. And then
Still true.
Sean posts a picture of Tom Waits panning for gold
Mm-hmm.
and writes Alex looking for hot takes.
Yeah, solid little meme there.
Yeah.
Little group text meme.
Then Sim sends to me his breakout text with you
Oh, we love
one-on-one.
it. We love it.
Oh, from
and
like
I
years
think it's
earlier.
from years
Yes.
earlier, right?
The Coen brothers are old guard with nothing new to offer. Buster Scruggs was embarrassing.
Truly embarrassing.
I dug it up.
Hail Caesar should have been the last one. It's just Coen's by the numbers.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Kind of when they have numbers, they're pretty good
Yeah.
at IMO.
Like 4 months ago, you text us. You went, Fargo sucks.
No, I did not say it sucks.
Embarrassing Francis McDormand.
Oh,
won us.
it is. That is an embarrassment. That is an embarrassing win.
And then you spend 6 months being like, the Blank Check guys are big timing me. They won't have
That's
me
right.
on. You were saying every Coen brothers thing is embarrassing.
Not everyone. Just to me, like, Peter Weir is a guy. I don't think I have a movie of his in my brain that's below a 3-star film.
So great that we got you on for this series.
That is true. I wanted you to do Weir for a long time.
It's
doing
perfect.
it.
But
We're
to
doing
me,
it.
I feel like that is a body of work
I'm with
that
you.
has some real lows for me.
I would agree that Peter Weir's Basement is 3 stars.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
like
he simply
yes.
can't make a bad movie, in my opinion.
No.
Largely
he did
because
not make a
he
bad movie.
changes what he's doing so much.
Sure.
And because oftentimes his instincts are just, this is what's so sad to me about the industry failing him, as Mr. Hawk pointed out, and as is obvious from this movie's release and everything. Like, how can we fail a guy like this?
Sure.
But did we fail him? He had an enormously successful
He did,
career.
but like the contraction that happened in the 2010s, he's like the kind of guy you picture as seeing like some guy who's been at the company for 25 years and has been a top salesman gets
Yeah.
brought in. It's like, listen, we're just making some cuts and we got to let you go. And it's like, I've been here forever. I've done so much for
Yes,
you. And it's
yes.
like, it's not personal. We just got to kind of say goodbye. Like, we're
Well,
going to
yeah.
offer you an early retirement, but I still have work in me. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You just kind of have to go away. And he's someone, it's like, if even he couldn't get the means after, and this is a good movie. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
like, yikes, Tarantino's right. People really should hang it up. This has everything in it that he's good at.
Yes, this is a respectable final film.
Right now, I'm always saying Tarantino's right. This is the moment for that.
He's right about everything. He keeps getting more right. I
don't see anybody selling any Tarantino was a dope shirts.
Maybe Paul Dano should sell some of his front log. Do you think McDormand's an embarrassing win because Emily Watson should have won? Yes. Sure. Emily Watson, obviously very powerful.
Obviously, I hate this kind of like hindsight. Like,
yeah, it's a bit of a
she's going to get 2 more awards, but like, she's barely in the movie. For 30 minutes.
Well, that's just crazy. If she won, you're just on the crazy train.
If she won for supporting, I'd be like, fine, whatever. The Emily Watson performance in Breaking the Waves is, I think, one of the 10 best screen performances I have ever seen.
It's an incredible performance, but this is just silly. It's like, it's the Oscars. The movie where Emily Watson
got nominated.
Railed constantly because Stellan Skarsgård got paralyzed in like the fucking insane Lars von Trier movie. It's like, the nom is the reward. Like, stop being crazy.
You were coming in harsh on other areas of Fargo. You were coming in generally.
My rewatch of it, I was really bored. And
it's
also,
a 98-minute movie.
Yeah, I know.
I want you to understand that we don't shadow ban you from the show. Sometimes we strategically go, if you come on a Fargo episode and go obviously
I didn't want to come on a Fargo episode.
They will rip you apart like Gladys.
No, I didn't want to come on a Fargo episode. Also, at that time, I hadn't seen it in 15 years. And I'll say this. I asked, after you guys roasted me on group chat, I asked every single person I worked at Kim's Video with, what do you think of the Coen brothers and Fargo? This is like 7 people I asked. Every single one of them was like, nothing.
This is maybe an example of...
One person was like, I haven't seen it since it came out. No interest in revisiting. I stopped watching their movies.
One
person said, the best movies for normies. One person said...
Now, wait, hold on.
I'm just saying.
Hold on. Question.
This is why people hated going to fucking video stores.
All I'm saying is that
often were they contrarian, snarky,
incredibly
rude,
open-minded, open-hearted, friendly cinema lovers.
Okay.
I'm just
front
saying,
facing.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me.
Make strong eye contact.
Yeah.
I'm simply saying it's very interesting to me that you can turn from one side to the other and have 2 180-degree different opinions on the exact same body of work.
Sure.
I was hearing opinions from my old coworkers that in other contexts would be sacrilegious.
Right.
And then
I would say yes.
You guys were saying opinions that if I brought to them, they'd be like, who are these fucking dorks?
I agree with you that it is interesting that different people can hold different opinions. I also think if our listenership was like, oh, great, I can't wait for the Fargo episode.
No, I never
No, he was never going to be. He's in Alex's defense.
It's these later movies, Llewyn Davis aside, that I found dire.
Yeah, I'm riding with all of them.
You know what the thing is about Hail Caesar that none of you brought up?
What?
While we talk about The Long Walk?
Fascistically muddled sense of the 1930s. You did write that in a text.
Yes, this drives me crazy that no one points this out. People who supposedly know what movies are. Every time they go to a different movie in that.
Set in the 50s.
Then why is there a fucking Esther Williams synchronized swimming movie?
Funny.
They hadn't made those for 15 years.
Because it's funny. Who cares?
I care.
Well, clearly. I mean, that is obvious.
Nothing in
$1 Million Mermaid was 1952, I will say.
That's like saying Never Say Never Again was,
I believe that's exactly what it's like saying, but it is like
saying it.
It's not presented as like, wow, we're making one more of these. And it's just crazy to me that this movie that's supposedly steeped in Hollywood history and the Ray Fiennes thing, that is a 30s movie. He's visiting like a Ruben Mamoulian comedy of manners, and then they go to like
supposed to be a little bitch, but yeah, sure.
That's also not in the 50s.
Yeah, not really. I mean, they still kind of exist.
I'm having such a good time.
Everything you're saying is like
the magic is back.
These movies from the 30s coexist with these movies from the 50s in this pointless fantasia of nothingness.
I know. Nothing can be realistic like your favorite film of all time, Damien Chazelle's Babylon. Another film that I think presented Hollywood exactly as it was, right? Like that's an opinion you share. You're not saying anything, so we'll carry on.
Detestable work of art.
Alex's body is slowly from the toes to the top of his head turning red. It's working up his body like a thermostat.
Hail Caesar. Look, you should yell all of this at the Coens, and they probably go like, okay, yeah, okay, I get so.
But Griffin, only because Griffin said this is a movie you can feel the guy being like, I'm kind of ready to hang it up. And I don't feel that in this movie.
No. I don't feel him saying that I don't feel the movie saying that. I understand why the response to the movie would make him say that. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Do you think he cared that much about the sort of fallout of his work after that much kind of career ups and downs?
So much harder for him to get this movie made.
PW. Well,
than his other films, right?
To discuss
he had to make it in a much scrappier way.
Wow.
It barely gets released.
Guess who stepped up to the plate?
Image.
Big yellow triangle. Second National Geographic film covered on Blank Check.
I missed K-19
the Widowmaker.
Yeah. And I would say, I can't believe you missed that logo because it's long. It's a really, really long pre-roll logo. But this movie really reminded me of K-19. I think it's better than K-19.
Yeah.
But similar kind of like, why did you think anyone was really going to be hot for this story?
National Geographic.
Like 2 movies where it's like, and then they suffered, and then they suffered some more. And let me tell you, it's true.
They had this directive at the time of like, let's
dry.
It's dry. Everyone's doing an accent, but they're different accents.
It's a lot of emotionally closed off Russians.
Yeah, let's tell the Russian side of things. It's National Geographic's 2000s MO.
And basically, what? They're
Will
10
you
years
cover
apart?
a third National Geographic film?
What else is a National Geographic?
And I don't remember now. It's weird. I kind of thought maybe these were the only 2, but there's actually others.
I'm going to figure it out.
I will figure that out, and I will crack open the dossier. Here's some other obvious ones, of course, March of the Penguins, but we're not going to count.
No,
Let's not count the
narrative historical.
Yeah.
Restrepo, remember that one? That's a documentary too, though.
Yeah.
There's really not much. This is kind of it.
That's why I was fascinated to see that big yellow square.
There's the Justin Chadwick film, The First Grader. I think that is a drama, which is about like Kenyan education.
Okay.
There's that movie Amrika. Remember that? Which is about like a Palestinian family moves to Chicago. These were all like good, civic kind of movies. You know what I mean? Like about like sort of weighty issues. Mostly it's documentaries.
Yeah.
So this is the final National Geographic film to be covered on Blank Check.
That I think there's no question.
All right. Well, then it's even more exciting.
Unless we march with the Penguins.
Yeah. What would that be?
You do Penguins Patreon.
We've already done both Happy Feet, though.
It's true.
No,
you
you farce of the Penguins, march of the Penguins. You march and then you farce. Perfect series.
Little this, little that.
All right. So, following the release of Master and Commander, which Alex pointed out, got 10 Oscar nominations, won 2, and was successful, although, as I'm sure we discussed last week, was not hugely successful.
Incredibly expensive.
It was very expensive, and they wanted it to make more.
It was basically a financial break even. And you asking, like, why didn't he immediately gain, like, a new wave of momentum from Master and Commander? I think part of it was, well, is this a series that he's going to stay on? And then it was kind of in a midpoint for a while of like, we can't decide whether or not to make more of these.
Yeah, and Crow is like, I'm only getting more addicted to sandwiches, guys. So if you want me, to fit into that vest.
I'm either throwing phones or eating a hoagie.
Because like Robin Hood which is this year, I think is 2010, right?
Yeah.
That's the last where he's like, I went back to the gym, and it's like he at least like walked through the gym.
He tightened it way up.
As way up as he could.
But Body of Lies is right before that, and Body of Lies, he's...
God bless.
Well, it's just the character demanded.
The character's on the phone all the time eating sandwiches, and I love sandwiches. Okay.
I sent you last night in our text with Sean Clements.
Oh, that fucking Crow movie. What's it called?
Yeah, I'm going to send you a Crow poster. I just want your reaction on mic to this, Alex.
What's the film called again?
Let me just get...
All right, well, so I'll tell you. So Peter Weir... in between 74 and 86, he makes 8 films. In between 87 and 2003, he makes just 5 films. So he's taking longer and longer to make movies. Takes him 7 more years to make The Way Back. But in between, here are some of the things he was attached to, because there were other projects. First
I was surprised he did not have the beloved separate Wikipedia page of list of unmade and unrealized projects.
Yeah.
He's a guy that should.
He probably should.
That.
He has a ton.
Yeah.
He you know what? He deserves that. And if someone could get on that.
Please, someone make
First one is The War Magician.
Right.
A Cruz Wagner at Paramount project based on a nonfiction book about a patriotic British stage magician who volunteered his illusionist abilities to help the Nazis. I mean, this sounds like Harvey Weinstein's like, let me out of prison. I can release that shit.
Am I insane for thinking that Benedict Cumberbatch has tried to revive that recently? Or is there a different
It does
Benedict
sound like
Cumberbatch wartime magician movie that is being made.
Well, obviously he was Doctor Strange who fought the Infinity War.
Of course.
This is what I love about Peter Weir, is that there was this brand of like, well, this is a vast historical challenging thing that would have a lot of really great roles for our finest movie stars. He should do it. And he had all these projects for years.
Well, and like Tom Cruise, a guy it's actually surprising he never worked with, because it felt like Tom Cruise was a bit checklisty at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there's a
guy who you would imagine he's both meeting with and saying, "What do you want to do?" and also anytime he options a book,
the
he
weird
likes
thing though is that
throwing it to
when
Weir.
Cruise was doing that, Weir was in the kind of other key of Dead Poets and Green Card and
Fearless, yeah.
He's
But
basically running through the
but if
early
Weir
2000s.
had just made more movies,
Yeah.
But he just started taking a long time between projects. All right, look, Cruise had at one point been attached. At this point, he's just a producer on it. Cruise Wagner split from Paramount, obviously, in 2006.
Amicably, I'm sure. Very chill.
There was no problem.
Checks notes here, cool and normal.
At that point, Cruise actually reattaches to possibly starring, but Weir lets it go. Mark Forster, your best friend, gets attached. And indeed, Benedict Cumberbatch was eyed to star.
There we go.
Now it is
the Swiss maestro himself.
Just quick pause because I sent Alex
Bear
a poster image, and I want you to do.
It's called Bear Country.
Your favorite blank check segment. Describe a poster.
Okay, so I get to do this. So Russell Crowe is doing a yoga pose.
Well, what's the first thing right at the top of the poster?
It says, from the director of Unhinged. Oh, that's the car movie that he made that came out. That was like in theaters. They were like,
it was in like 30,000 theaters.
May 2020. Let's put this thing wide.
It got to break the record of being the first movie to new release to open in theaters. But okay, from the director of Unhinged, that's like a scrappy, fucking schlocky, like B movie action film.
So what we have here
that's
is
the tone you imagine is going to transfer to the rest of this poster.
Neon pink font with a kind of rounded look that says Bear Country.
Yeah.
He's doing a yoga pose in front of a pool with a palm tree with the ocean behind him. What I can only imagine is Australia.
I would argue he's dressed like DJ Khaled.
Well, I haven't gotten to the clothes yet.
Okay.
Because he has on
noise-canceling headphones,
spiky, crazy hair.
Yeah. He's got it's all
orange
gone Pete
tinted
Tong
sunglasses.
for him, you might say.
A kind of like velour-looking tracksuit that is orange, but
I would say Khaled-esque for sure. Yeah,
but despite the yoga pose, which conveys tranquility, by his feet is a gun that
a handgun
that looks like it is a cartoon that was drawn onto this poster.
Yeah, it's not the most.
It's also just got like a couple loose bullets hanging
bullets
by the gun.
Teresa Palmer is listed beneath that. She's Australian.
Yeah.
Luke Evans
also Australian
is listed there. He might be Australian.
He definitely is.
Or English.
British.
Is he not? I thought he was Australian.
And there's some other names, and it says with Nina
He's
Dobrev.
Welsh. What am I talking about?
And Aaron Paul. Not necessarily who you want with the "and" to excite the movie.
I had no offense to Aaron Paul, but you do not want him in your "and."
And then there's some lady who's probably sexy, but we can't see her.
Can't see her.
In a lounge chair on the other side of the pool, but she's blonde, so you know she's Australian.
It might even be Teresa Palmer.
It could be.
Very possible.
It could be.
You could show me her face and I wouldn't be able to tell you.
And
I was holding a lot of Teresa Palmer stock throughout the
and that's Bear Country.
2010s.
I guess that's
we call
Bear
those
Country.
penny stocks.
They were, but I was holding.
Well, while we're on that
offense.
subject, while David reads these off, above what Griffin just texted me is a series of unresponded to text messages where I was asking questions about gifts for Ben.
This is a good.
While Griffin has put me back, and it's just worth mentioning that Griffin doesn't respond to one-on-one text, but if I ask the same question in a group text, he responds literally within seconds.
It is an interesting phenomenon.
So I was trying to spare everyone else an inventory of some objects for Ben, which I will now reveal.
In the middle of the attaches conversation, I guess we can just bring out a
really
gift for Ben.
It was a clean segue.
So Ben, this is for you.
Oh shit.
Do you see what it is? Can you make out the proper name?
Ben's gonna come get
this.
This.
This is a vintage boxed, dare I say, really good condition Spawn action figure from T-Dog Mac. And what is the character name on here, Ben? Look on the side and on the top right there.
This is a future Spawn.
This is Spawn from the future.
So is it sort of like a Spawn 2099 type situation?
Yeah, but it's like a Robo Spawn, Mecha Spawn. There's a little like a sticker on the upper right hand that describes what his deal is.
And part machine, part human, all Spawn.
That's very RoboCop-esque.
Now, it's funny you give me this, which thank you. This is awesome, Alex. I really appreciate it.
I just feel like future Spawn is in line with your like pitches for Spawn.
100.
They now have a future
here it
Spawn
is.
series.
There's a new
I mean,
future Spawn
clearly
series.
they had it all along.
And I just brought it here with me, Rat City. I just read the first 6 issues. It's great.
Talk about
happy to give you this thing that I bought 30 years ago and immediately was like, this is going to be worth thousands.
Yeah, this is going to pay off.
Has anything ever sounded more like a Ben Hosley pitch than, hey, I got a great idea for a comic book. It's Spawn in the future.
Yeah, so he's like a demon from hell, right? But yes, now he's in like a robot machine.
Right, and you're like, cool. So I assume it's called Future Spawn? No, it's called Rat City.
No,
That's
no,
what you would
rats.
call it.
I feel like Ben's
Yes.
always bringing lovely gifts, and I wanted to return the favor.
There you
That's
go.
very kind of you.
Oh, this is so appreciated. Damn, there's some really good other toys here,
Yeah,
too.
the line on the back promises a lot of good stuff.
Have I finally broken Ben into becoming an action figure collector?
Well,
through
you make him
Vintage?
sit in front
I'll
of them
never
all.
crack this guy.
Do you see he's got a violator on the
Yeah, no,
on the
I saw
mic
that.
arm?
That's the bendy one. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't bringing you something you already had.
Yeah.
Damn, this
In
is great.
April 2004, Variety announced that
Put
Peter
a picture
Weir,
of that in the carousel of
Absolutely.
content for this
Absolutely.
episode.
Peter Weir was attached to direct an adaptation of William Gibson's novel Pattern Recognition.
Okay.
2004, you said?
Yes.
This is right after Master and Commander.
Yeah.
Yes, that I feel like that was a 2003 novel by Gibson. I feel like that was also a project that got passed around a lot. He rewrote it with D.B. Weiss.
Okay.
Nothing ever came of it.
Interesting.
He said, I couldn't get the script right and pulled back out of it. I don't know. Fair enough. The major one, of course, as we already mentioned, is that in October 2004, Warner Brothers purchases the film rights to the novel Shantaram for $2 million at the urging of Johnny Depp. It's a 1,000-page book. He wanted to beat out Russell Crowe, who was also really into that book. And now, I don't know what Depp saw in a role like this. An Australian heroin addict convicted of robbery escapes from a prison and flees to India and reinvents himself as a doctor in Bombay and gets involved in counterfeiting and smuggling and gun running, which leads him to Afghanistan, where he and a mob boss battle the Russians. That is what the book is about.
I will say, as a Weir fan at the time, and a Depp fan at the time, really.
Yeah, no,
I was like,
for sure. A height of Depp.
I was truly like, let's fucking go.
I was going to
This
say.
sounds so good. Weir's going to shoot all over the world. It's going to be hard as hell.
It's going to be like $100 million plus budget for like an adult tentpole.
Right.
And this is Johnny Depp is so at the peak of his powers right now that this isn't like, oh, fuck, Disney's agreeing to option Shantaram in order to make Jack Sparrow happy. This is Warner Brothers, a company he doesn't really do movies with. Everyone is just
he starts committing some crimes.
Sure, but everyone,
Both real and on screen.
everyone's like truly anything Depp wants to do, we will make and make at his requested budget level and with whatever creative team he wants.
Yeah, he wants to crack open the window.
Yeah.
The secret
I
window.
mean, it would be funny if in 2004 Depp had pitched The Crimes of Grindelwald and they'd be like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. It's gonna.
But this
we're gonna make.
this
gonna pay off."
sounded great. This is all.
Sure,
I'm not
it sounds
encyclopedic.
crazy,
I'm
but
not
sure.
encyclopedic in the unmade projects of Weir, but this to me it was always kind of like the great unmade one because he was really at peak of his powers, even though he's probably in his 60s by now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'd be in his like early 60s.
After
I guess.
Truman and Master and Commander, it was like, man, this guy. He's still the best. Mosquito Coast at this point is 20 years ago, and he's still got this power over movie stars and environments.
Eric Roth is brought in for a rewrite, so obviously this is being taken very seriously. That's a heavyweight screenwriter. In 2006, Weir does enter the project, but then apparently he and Johnny Depp were unable to get on the same page. And he decided the pairing wasn't meant to be.
The page was, how many bottles of wine should we drink an hour?
Weir says, I was involved for a period. I went to India. I talked to Johnny Depp about it. It's his film. I just wasn't, it wasn't the right combination.
That's him being very diplomatic.
Correct.
But I think it's going back to what we're saying, that it used to be like these guys would go to him with their passion projects and say, I want you to get something out of me that I don't know how to get out of myself. And now it's like people like Depp and Crowe trying to call the shots.
Yeah.
And be like, no, you work for me.
I think Weir also at that point is a little paralyzed by having made a couple like really heavyweight movies and just being like, well, if I want it to be really special, I want it to really speak, like he's not just like, well, let me make a movie because like it's good to make a movie.
Best director nominated for Master and Commander, right?
And for Truman Show.
And for Truman Show.
Yep.
So he's 2 in a row.
And for Dead Poets. And Witness, does he have 4?
It's 4 total, I believe. Yes,
Yeah.
those are the 4, I think.
Yeah.
He wasn't nominated for Green Card or Fearless.
But 2 consecutive Best
Director
nods.
nods. Truman was snubbed for picture, but
Right.
he was nominated.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, again, with Master and Commander, it's like, he's
undeniable.
He's
just
a 6-time nominee total, because also a Best Picture nod for Commander and writing nod for Green Card.
He's just one of the best. At this time, he's just undeniable, a totem of studio filmmaking, where at this time, the script is everything. You got to get a great script and a great star, and there's nothing more to it than that.
And that was always his formula.
I've invoked
if
it
there is a formula
in other episodes, but it's a quote that stuck with me in that same Ethan Hawke interview. He goes, he was that rare thing, which is an actual popular artist. He was an artist of intelligence and skill who made entertainment.
It's a weird thing for Ethan Hawke to respect so much.
Some other minor ones that sort of cross his desk. The Fox 2000 project Shadow Divers.
Okay.
Every part
about
of that sentence.
People, people discovering Hitler's lost sub.
God, that sounds great.
Fucking rules. Was anyone ever attached to that?
I mean, that feels like another project that I would occasionally hear about, because it's it would be these nonfiction bestsellers, right? Usually about World War II. And, it's why did, they get optioned and they sort of pass it around. But no, it's never been made. So, Peter Weir says the thing that changes, I no longer work with the studios, right?
When is he saying this?
He's saying this in a 2012 interview, but he's saying from Witness through Master and Commander, that's my studio period.
Yeah.
They no longer make those kinds of films. Someone from a studio said to me recently, we're not in that kind of business anymore. I've watched the market change. This is all from around right around when this movie comes out.
When he has not yet claimed
he's not retired, but he's what's changing? He says, I watched the market change, moving towards what I would call children's programming. Okay, Peter.
Okay.
I'm surprised that even amongst acquaintances and my friends of my children in their 30s, you revisit childhood by going to the cinema as an adult. I find that quite fascinating. I feel like when he says, I find that quite fascinating, he means I don't like that, or I think that's stupid. Anyway, so he doesn't really want to make what he thinks of as a kid's movie. He wants to make a large canvas movie, which is basically what he's been doing. So he's looking around.
But that is fascinating as this contraction happens, that he's not I guess my move is looking at Dead Poets, looking at even something like Fear. His move isn't I've done that really well also.
Yeah.
I have made fairly small character dramas,
right?
Also.
Like a kind of a more widely pitched.
That seems like a lane I'm in now, and it's not I've grown out of that.
Sure.
Even Truman Show is kind of that, even though it's fairly large movie.
The book he reads, that he in classic Peter Weir fashion, which I feel like is always the case with the movies he makes, is he can't stop thinking about it. He can't let it go. Is this book, The Long Walk, which allegedly details a true story, although it seems like it's a very kind of we're not really sure how true it is.
Real? Did it happen to the guy who wrote it? Did he steal someone else's story? Was it a folk tale?
Right.
And then Weir himself has admitted that basically he wrote a fictional movie based on the account that is questionable.
What if you escaped from a Soviet labor camp in Siberia and marched by foot through Siberia, China, the Gobi Desert, Tibet, and the Himalayas, all the way to India? And
what if you had to walk so fucking far?
He's he read Anne Applebaum, my coworker Anne Applebaum, works at the Atlantic, her book Gulag. He gets very interested in the Gulag and all of this, and then the feat of endurance and the tenacity of human beings and survival stories. I guess he's never really quite made that kind of a movie, but that was kind of a movie in the 90s and early, right?
Peter Weir says, I've gotten really interested in gulags, and American studio heads are salivating. He could not be swinging further away from the interests of the studios at this moment.
Yeah, they want, Guantanamo. That's a cool prison for us now. We don't want to see Russians in prison.
In 2006.
And any Guantanamo-related filming, this was an era where they were all hitting big at the box office. People wanted to see movies about...
Peter, are you interested in imprisoning men from the Middle East or just Russians?
Because we'll keep greenlighting those despite audiences telling us, please stop.
Now, I will mispronounce the name of the author of this book, Slavomir Roich. I'm not sure.
I think that's correct.
But BBC Radio 4 in 2006 had attempted to verify his account. They walked away being this is likely not true.
That's offensive also that they walked away, because that's kind of hitting them where it hurts.
He was a prisoner in the Gulag we can't find evidence that he escaped. Possibly someone else escaped and he's telling their story, something like that. So Weir gets jumpy and is kind of like, okay, well, fucking, like, I don't want to do it then if it's, like, controversial. But then he finds that 3 men had done a walk like this.
Yes.
And they do more research, and so he decides to kind of re-fictionalize it. That's why he retitles the movie, not because of Stephen King.
Okay.
Because he's like, I don't want to be presented really as like a straight adaptation of this book that's a little, muddy. He goes and talks to these people. He
one
meets
guy,
this guy Glinsky, Wiltord Glinsky, who lives in Cornwall,
who he
Britain.
said basically was like his first major hire and was the primary consultant on the movie. This making of thing on the Blu-ray has a lot of him talking to all the actors about how to do everything and what it physically felt like.
Come on, guys. One foot in front of the other. You know the deal.
But basically, this guy is like a survivalist.
Right.
Who decided to, like, it'd be an interesting challenge to see if we can do the thing from this book.
Mm-hmm.
Did it with a group of guys. And then he basically writes a fictional movie based on this guy's accounts of what the emotional experience was like.
Right. And he meets with other people who had maybe trekked through the Himalayas. But, he's coming to it as truthful as he can. He also hired Anne Applebaum. I should have emailed Anne. I mean, she's a bigger shot than me, but she does work at the Atlantic, and I've been on many a Zoom with her.
Is she in the Slack? Can you,
She's in Slack. Yeah, I could probably Slack.
Could you ask
Anne
right now, like, hey, anything you want to tell us about gulags? Quick takes on gulags.
She's on the gulag beat for the Atlantic, you're saying?
Well, she writes about, like, political oppression in Eastern Europe by and large. Yes.
So she
writes a lot about Russia
She
now.
does man the gulag desk.
I really, honestly, cannot be flippant about this. So
I'm not being flippant.
No,
about it.
I think
We're
our
just trying to
joke is
understand
more
her
that
position.
what she's doing sounds very serious. And I like the idea of someone talking about political oppression in Eastern Europe and you being like, so here's who has 3 Oscars and why.
Anne says,
David, I wrote the book on the gulag.
Anne says that Peter
Please
Weir
stop sending me memes in the
mostly
Slack.
used him as a sounding board. And then she and other professors direct him to survivors and all that. Look, the way back, what you're also hearing in my accounting of all this is this took years. Like this is his process just seems so slow because he's so meticulous.
But that also used to be allowed. That also used to be forgivable for these filmmakers that prioritized like authenticity, research, verisimilitude in their storytelling. It used to be like, you're vaguely being paid to develop this while you do research for 2 years.
Well, also,
and I'm sure Master and Commander had a similar kind of heavy lift of like approaching the time period.
We also talked about it
I think absolutely
on the Truman Show episode, but like because Carrie's dance card is so full, he gets 2.5 years to prep that movie while he waits for him to run through his other contractual obligations. And like when movies have major budgets like this and people go, why did it cost this much? Sometimes like those are major factors, and those are things that studios refuse to spend money on now, I would say basically, is like, we'll let you work for like 1.5 years with like a small staff to just figure out how you're going to approach this.
Yeah, and he really did the most with that kind of thing.
And that's the kind of thing where if you had A-list actors attached, they would grant you that because they were like, well, if it's Mel Gibson, if it's Harrison Ford, if it's Russell Crowe, we think we will make back that investment.
Yeah.
Right.
The money we spend on your research
But the thing is,
will be repaid opening weekend.
What I lament that is obviously dead and gone that he represents is like, whether they knew it or not, almost every time these were forever movies.
Sure.
Like obviously Year of Living Dangerously is not like, a basic cable classic, but these movies last forever. Like,
Master Commander is a great example of that, where I'm just like certain that movie has gone into profit many times over now. At the time of release, it was seen as a break even.
And even
maybe.
like Dead Poets just becoming like what it is.
But that was a major hit at the time and then has just become like an
but these are forever movies. Like he really
totally.
just had this instinct of making something that wouldn't age at all.
But that was not the way they were thinking at that time. And you also imagine if Peter Weir's like, cool, I'm going to like not rush and take my time to develop this movie. Every 6 months that he spends working on this film, the chances of this getting made in any traditional way are like cut in half.
Also, like, this only gets more out of fashion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just like
with each passing year, it's like you're losing the last development exec at each studio who would maybe greenlight something like this and have the power to do so.
No studio is making this. Instead, it's funded by Exclusive Media Group, Spitfire Pictures, Image Nation Entertainment, which is the film division of Abu Dhabi, and National Geographic.
Image Nation is still very active.
Yeah, it is. But none of these are obviously like
they pay for a lot of Shudder movies. They're you'll see that logo a lot.
No, I know the logo very well. It's a very.
I know the logo.
It's and I think it's a.
You
very
have it tattooed on your chest.
Yeah, that would be weird.
But that's when shit gets very depressing for me of this generation or this level of filmmaker where you see the independent cobbled together financing from all the people who are probably in jail now for one reason or another.
For the red granites of the world.
Yeah, financial crimes in their own country. And just the idea that he's going hat in hand to the Middle East trying to get $5 million for a chunk of his epic. Yeah. This is just really bad when this starts happening.
I mean, but you asking...
As we sit here in the shambles of Roquet, the collapsing nature of being able to support things that are just obviously of interest to audiences.
I haven't done a deep dive on Roquet.
Yeah.
But we keep sending you the links. I know what's holding you up.
I looked at one of the articles, but like it does seem like they were like, we think there's a market for this stuff that's not really getting picked up at film festivals right now. And then they're like, it turns out there's not a huge market. There might be a reason a lot of this stuff's not getting picked up.
Yeah, Roquet, a distributor that has like...
They did Dead Man's Wire, right?
Right. Basically like formed a year ago where like we got a lot of financing and there's more product than there are distributors these days. There's stuff getting left at the table at festivals and also there's not enough stuff being put in the theaters. We'll buy these movies and we'll back them fully and we'll overpay because we know we basically need to pay a tax on being so new.
Of course.
That filmmakers are wary to trust that we'll support their film properly.
What they forgot is when you do that, you have to fail for like 2 years.
Right. And instead they failed on one movie and are now insolvent.
Well, obviously.
And there are like 5 other movies they've bought that are now like, are we ever coming out?
I sent the best triptych of images to illuminate this narrative. But
the Duff.
Yeah. 30 minutes later, out of business.
Yes.
But
this
Newmarket is, to me, like seeing that logo and looking it up, this is their penultimate movie.
Yeah.
They're out of business.
Yes.
Probably when this movie's coming out.
Right.
Essentially. And this is just super depressing.
Yes. And this is, I mean...
Their final, do you know what, did you look up Newmarket? The Newmarket chronology? Because their first film, much like National Geographic, is another film you've covered.
Memento?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
So they have this like 10-year miracle run that ends basically with this, followed by the Joseph Gordon-Levitt heavy metal movie Hesher.
Oh, right.
And then they're done.
Because am I mistaken that they were a production company and they couldn't find a buyer for Memento and Bob Burney was like, fuck it, I'm going to figure out how to release this
What we now call a black bear.
Yeah. Yes, it's a bit of a black bear.
Can't find a buyer for the rifles of Amziah King? Fuck it.
Right.
We'll release it ourselves. We'll show you guys how much money there is in beekeeping thrillers.
They were primarily financier production company, but then they have this run of fucking Memento, Donnie Darko, Real Women Have Curves.
Donnie Darko was a giant bomb, but Real Women Have Curves. I mean, Whale Rider was a good sleeper hit.
And then Passion of the Christ is the most successful independent film in history.
They probably didn't have a very favorable split on that with Mel. But
no, Mel took home the lion's share, but it is crazy that they released Passion of the Christ. They successfully got that movie to like record-breaking numbers, records that still hold, and 7 years later they were done.
No, they were a major player in this mid-aughts boom time of kind of like big, small movies.
Yeah, but they could like last 4 years of struggle, whereas like Roquet can't survive one movie. And if the Wayback screened at TIFF last year, Roquet would have been the only place that offered.
Yeah, or it's like the Eden, Ron Howard's movie that's like kind of a similar Peter. That's kind of, I like that movie. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I haven't seen it.
I did not care for that movie at all.
I think we can all agree it's very strong. And but that is to me like...
That was released by Vertical.
Yes, but that is the state of the Peter Weir type of movie now, is that it's like, why did this person make this? What were they thinking? Who on earth would release this? And then it comes out and everyone's like, what is this?
Well, and no, to your earlier point where you're like, why wouldn't at this inflection point in the industry, Weir pivot back to something like Dead Poet Society that is easier to make?
He could have made 3 more of those.
Right, because it's like that movie had a budget that maybe a studio wouldn't give him, you know,
the
in
answer is he doesn't want
2005.
to do that anymore. He says, I want to work on a big canvas.
I was
like,
about
I'm
to
not
say.
interested. Yeah.
So, like, right, you could more easily make a cheaper version of Dead Poet Society than you can make a cheap version of The Way Back. But I do think there's almost like a lifestyle creep, a like scale creep.
You're saying Peter Weir is balling, like he needs the money.
It's beyond that. I think these guys get addicted to the challenge of how difficult it is to mount these big productions,
No
especially.
question but that's the thing, like,
if you're successful at doing it, you know how to do it and like maintain the story thread within it and like hold on to dramatic, you know, and artistic integrity. Then I think it's hard for you to scale down. Like Ridley Scott is a weird
I thought a lot about Ridley
exception
Scott
who will just
because-
throw in a like fucking good year in
I
between.
thought
his
about
big
Ridley Scott with
epics.
this movie a lot because they're very similar in a
Yeah.
lot of ways in the scope of what they do and in their kind of hit ratio of forever movies.
Mhm.
But for some reason, Ridley Scott just figured out how to never slow down.
Well, he works fast, and the movies he makes can be a little sloppy as a result, although often they really are good. But he also, you know, works with big stars, which I feel like Peter Weir is clearly getting sick of. Eden, I think, is a really good comp for The Way Back because that movie is also really dreary and about survival and like, you know, it's these people who went to live on an island and it's like, it's based on a true story. And they're like, what do you think happened when in 1931, like a bunch of randos decided to live on like a random island in the Galapagos Islands? I'm like, did it go badly? And they're like, oh, yeah, it did. We were hoping to surprise you with that. Like, you know what I mean? Where they're like, 50 minutes in, they're like, it's starting to get worse. And I was like, yeah, I called that from the beginning. Jude Law and Sydney Sweeney, we're not going to recreate society.
Sure, but that movie was also
Hang
like,
on.
here are 5 of the hottest people, and
Jude
they're
Law
going to
and
be
Vanessa
doing
They
some
don't
sex
look
Kirby.
stuff.
They
Okay.
don't do sex stuff.
Vanessa Kirby
No.
needed to restart society. Sydney Sweeney
Yeah.
showed up.
She
they
shows
didn't
up
want her
causing
there.
trouble. No, that's the thing. It's like, oh, it's Ana de Armas and Sydney Sweeney. And you're like, oh, do they look good? And it's like, no, they're like starving and like their faces are dirty.
God, David's really throwing some shade on these
The movie
beautiful
sucks.
actresses here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
but they are
it
beautiful.
was solid to a fault.
This is the same with Nuremberg, where everyone's like, oh, Nuremberg was good, including
best
our
movie-
friend
Arcs
Alex
number
Perry.
2.
Second best movie of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you guys are forgetting how good these movies used to be. That movie stunk. Like, it's no good. And it's all gray and like, it just, anyway,
Forgetting how good
Way
they
back.
used to be.
The Way Back.
Mm.
There's always a temptation to cast a nationality, Weir says, but that gets impractical. Sure. He didn't want all American. He didn't want all English guys doing accents. So he wants a mix of guys. He sure gets a mix
When
of
Ed
guys.
Harris started talking, were you guys like, that's cool, he's just not doing a voice?
Yes.
Before
I
they
did
say,
briefly go like, oh, so right, are we just doing, but then like Colin is
it's like, oh, he's American.
Colin's speaking Russian. Like he's not
Yes.
doing, and I'm like, okay, so we're not doing that. We're not doing
I was
everyone
gonna
use their
respect it
accents.
though, because I'm going into the movie originally thinking I'm going to hear Ed Harris full Irish brogue
Right.
for 2 hours and 10 minutes, and then the movie starts and I'm like, Ed Harris could be playing
God,
any nationality.
I didn't know it got this cold in Ireland.
Truly, I'm looking at this. I'm like the potato. That's why the potatoes died. They froze.
Looks like the Arctic Circle here. This is crazy.
So
Arctic
Ed
potatoes.
Harris is obviously has already worked with Peter Weir.
Yes.
They respect each other.
Yeah.
And so that's
Another
an
Weir
easy decision
superpower
there.
is kind of keeping people, not forever, but
Yeah.
a couple Fords, couple Mels,
Sure.
Yeah.
couple,
Holding on to
couple
guys.
Eds.
Yeah.
Interesting that
Love
Ed,
to have a couple Eds.
but Ed's like his like in the pocket supporting MVP both times.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And
It might not surprise you guys to hear that in this making of a special feature, Ed Harris seemed really activated by how difficult this shoot was. And I'm not
he was,
being-
No, he was really into, I think he's also just into Peter Weir because Peter Weir's similarly intense with like,
Yes.
let's fucking figure out like what bread they ate or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, let's do deep research,
Yes.
get into the character.
Ed
you know.
Harris, he's obviously in the news lately with arm candy for Amy Madigan.
Yeah.
He's just the fucking best.
He's
he does
so
rock.
Just like
cool.
one of
Yeah.
these, like he's never ever been bad
Truly.
and has never really been given credit for how consistently awesome he has
Okay,
been.
that's a great question. Like,
Forever.
What's his worst
what is Ed
performance?
Harris in where you're like, because he does a ton of movies where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, he's phoning this
But-
in.
but
Well,
Like,
that
you
is
know,
to
like-
me.
that's the
I stopped
question.
watching Westworld, but that's
No,
the
but I
point.
loved him
He
in
was
Westworld.
great.
Yeah, but then he
Westworld.
started giving interviews where he's like, "Well, I'm phoning it in now because they changed the character and I don't like this new
It
character."
is right. It is true that they kind of are like, twist, by the way, now you're a robot. And he
He was-
said he was sick of it. He was still good.
He was like, "I signed up to play the man in black. Now I'm the man in white. I'm phoning it in now."
But like I'm looking through here.
Ian McKellen said that once upon a time.
I don't think I have seen an embarrassing Ed Harris
Well,
performance.
he couldn't embarrass
No.
himself if he tried.
Like I haven't seen Radio, but I imagine he acquits himself better than anyone else in the cast of that film.
That's pretty close though, because I haven't seen that either.
It's embarrassing that he's in it.
Sure. I would say that's also the era, the sort of post he gets a bunch of noms era.
Yeah.
That early 2000s where you kind of feel like him trying to sniff for an Oscar
He's
little
on the
too
poster
hard.
there.
Sure.
Well, Pollock,
So,
he got so close.
Well, but then so you have Beautiful Mind, which he's good in.
He's really good in.
Enemy at the Gates, where he's
Which rocks. I was thinking of Enemy at the Gates during this movie. We're talking about great Russian war narratives.
The Hours, which like is an undeserved Oscar nom. He's not like bad in it, but that's my least favorite part of The Hours, and it's not a movie I like.
That's when he felt like he's auto nom territory, and it's inevitable he's going to get one. So
you know what
soon.
I've never seen is The Human Stain, which is a book I love.
Right, I've never seen that either.
And he has the most interesting part in it.
Yeah.
If it's the part from the book that I remember, but I have no, that was forgotten.
But I also think he's starting to get into this era where, like, Beautiful Mind, for whatever reason, I was like driven to rewatch the trailer recently because I was like, is my memory correct about this? That the marketing of the movie was just selling the fucking CIA shit so hard.
He's the other name on the poster.
Exactly.
I mean,
the
because
poster is
a big deal.
Russell Crowe, Ed Harris, and the trailer.
It's Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind,
Yes,
Ed Harris.
Ed
It's
Harris.
a tiny little Ed Harris.
But like Jennifer Connelly's barely in the trailer.
Right.
They obviously don't show the Paul Bettany stuff. Like that movie was
Well,
sold.
they can't. He's not real.
Right.
You can't put him in the trailer. It doesn't
That
make
movie
sense.
sold itself as
false
a
advertising.
badass story about a cool CIA analyst. And so the trailer and all the marketing was so Ed Harris heavy. And then you watch the movie and you're like, oh, Ed Harris is the red herring.
Yeah.
And I feel like History of Violence is the same thing.
Well, he's obviously remarkable in that.
He's so
incredible.
good in that movie.
But like, you're like, this should have been an Oscar nom. And you're like, well, but then William Hurt comes in at the
by
end.
Hurt. Yeah.
Right. The same kind of thing happens with Jennifer Connelly and like,
well, sure.
He's used in a way that's making it easy to take him for granted because you don't walk out of the movie thinking about his character.
Right. We haven't even started.
Have you
talking
guys
about the
rewatched
movie.
Pollock recently?
No, I actually
It
been meaning
is
to.
So good.
Yeah, Pollock rocks.
It is such a good movie. He's so
more.
good in it.
Yeah.
Well, he directed Appalooza. Did you ever see that?
He wrote Appalooza.
I believe.
Did he direct it too?
I think he directed it.
Let me look it up.
Did he direct the Beethoven movie?
Beethoven second.
Yeah, we both said the same thing.
I'm trying to tee you up here.
Yes. Written and directed.
I saw
Appalooza.
Appalooza. Did you see Appalooza? I've never
I
seen
saw
Appalooza.
Appalooza. Do love a modern Western.
Right.
It's very solid. It feels like he kind of wanted to make
Vigo.
like a... Oh, yeah.
I always confuse it with Hidalgo because they both have Vigo and they both have names where you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Agnieszka
Agnieszka
I think
Holland did
Appalooza's
the Beethoven movie.
a place and Hidalgo's a horse.
Correct.
Yeah. But those are the only two movies he directed.
It's interesting he hasn't done more of that. He's just awesome.
I interviewed him and he was so scary, as I brought up many times on this podcast.
Jim Sturgess makes a comment in the special feature saying, like, I always pitied the PA who had to go up to Ed Harris and tell him cameras were ready.
Pity the fool.
He pities the fool.
Okay, so
Did
Jim
you
Sturgess.
see him in To Kill a Mockingbird? Or is
Yes,
that
I interviewed him for
Yeah.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, I
that was
saw
why I
him. Yeah.
interviewed him. He was good.
You can't act like talking about Ed Harris isn't talking about this
Yeah,
movie.
can I bring up the Ed Harris stuff relevant to this movie? I want to say, finish your anecdote.
No, what? Go
No,
ahead.
I'm sorry. You interviewed Ed Harris.
No, it's fine. What were you going to say?
He
What
wants
were
to
you gonna
talk
say?
Sturgess.
What were you going to say? What was
David
the
loves
Ed Harris
Sturgess,
thing?
and he's got a lot of Sturgess things. No, that he was like, he likes the good burn so much that they built a set for the woods where they could control the elements just in case, like, the scheduling didn't line up. They tried to shoot most of this movie chronologically. So they had a large indoor wood set that they could redress and have a snow machine or have sand or whatever the fuck. And Ed Harris would like get to set every day and he'd be like, Peter, come on, let's just go out there. Let's just go out there and do it. If it's snowing, we'll wake all these guys up at 2:00 in the morning. Everyone would do it. That he like really wanted to be in pain.
Yeah, he's the best.
Right.
He was good in Love Lies Bleeding also.
He's great in Love
He's
Lies
great
Bleeding.
in Love Lies Bleeding.
He's good. He's a guy who's now devolved.
The only problem with Love Lies Bleeding is he's like, I'm your dad. And I'm like, you're like 78 years old.
He's so cool.
But it doesn't
but
really
that guy
matter.
still fucks.
It's like Duvall when we were saying after he died. It's just like this guy just was awesome forever.
Yeah.
Duvall
Just
was awesome forever.
Just
And also was a guy where everyone was like, yeah, but he's like kind of scary and a pain in the ass. And you're like, yeah, well, I don't give a shit. Like, it's still
only
rocks.
because he has such an intense amount of integrity for the craft of acting.
Yes. The other Ed Harris anecdote was that he was like, they were saying that when they'd be setting up, Ed Harris would like wander off like 100 miles away from where everyone else was
It's a far
and
walk.
just stand by himself And he was like, it's great being in nature. You're in these places where no one is, and
Kinda
you can
sounds
just
like Clint Eastwood.
you can really hear things.
Weir compares him to Clint Eastwood. Says like, I think he has a bit of a Clint thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, this is the privilege of being away from all the noise and the cacophony, and you can actually listen to nature. Except you make a movie and there's always 140 fucking people yapping about.
Sorry,
and then Jim
Ed.
Sturgess is like, so one day Ed Harris, like, the PA comes over and Ed Harris just starts screaming, can everyone be quiet for 5 minutes? We need to connect to the land before we film. And then everyone's saying like, and he was right. And it was incredible how different the next take was. Like, this is all the stuff in the interviews that felt very
Where they're
Suicide Squad tattoo.
Yeah, like then in the way back, which of course I assume at this point has been nominated for 10 more Oscars.
Beyond that, it's like, do you know that like Vincent D'Onofrio gained 60 pounds for Full Metal Jacket? Like, everyone assumes they're telling the stories that will go down in history about the commitment to the craft and the struggle in this movie.
Jim Sturgess, Ascendant, as we said, possibly. Weir says he saw Across the Universe. Okay, if you say so.
You're questioning whether he saw it?
It doesn't really feel like something he'd run to.
Probably likes the Beatles.
Yeah, maybe. Right. He thought he had a quality. And then he said in meeting him, he has a very interesting manner. He's got a kindness to him. Was keen to not have a typical hero. I'm willing to believe that Peter Weir feels this way. My whole thing with Jim Sturgess is I'm like, he never has read as much of anything to me.
Even watching the
he's
movie,
just like, he's fine. He's like an adequate looking guy who's fine.
He blends in with like these other 5 guys in the movie, even though you know he's the lead. There's no doubt that at this time, Weir's told like, this is a guy that you really want to put in the center of the movie.
And probably like, he'll do it. Like, right? He'll fucking do 4 months in Bulgaria for you.
He wants to do it. He wants to be like, I'm getting like the real serious actor heavy lift shit.
Yeah.
You talk about this phenomenon all the time, Art, but like, the guy who is bankable, who you can get a green light for any project with this guy for like exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
where Hollywood's just like, we think if we invest in this guy now, 2 years from now, he will be worth 5 times as much as we paid. So he is like a go picture green light activator.
I mean,
and it's a guy who either has like hits that you can't credit to him or hasn't had a hit yet, but the charisma is so strong in movies that didn't make money.
But this is what I don't understand, because he's not
21 was a hit.
charismatic.
No, he's
So that's the thing. Okay, but we must remember.
What Weir kind of wants here clearly is like Mel Gibson and Gallipoli.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
sure. I want to be finding someone with a bit of who's young but has a little bit of earth to him or something. But like Across the Universe was a colossal bomb.
Yes.
It was incredibly
like
expensive.
07?
07.
Yes.
Then in 2008, he's in The Other Berlin Girl, which is a movie that I think like made its budget back and did fine, but was really poorly received. And
I do not. I don't even remember him in that.
he's the fucking
He's not on the poster. Isn't the poster Banna?
well, because
Jones?
Banna's doing
Yeah.
this while girls are thinking.
He's
He's Amberlin's brother.
I was gonna say he's the other Berlin guy.
He is the Other Berlin guy.
But Across the
The
Universe
sort
had
of
been,
the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead of the other
Yes.
Berlin franchise.
he was a Julie Taymor discovery.
Yes.
This is Amy Pascal era Sony.
Mhm.
Across the Universe is delayed for a long time.
Can't
And
imagine
Amy Pascal loved like discovering stars and like keeping them in the stable and betting on them. So they threw him onto 21, which is also Sony.
And he's the face of that movie. Like he's front and center on the poster.
And that
all
movie is a hit.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
solid
because they
hit.
let Spacey be Frank in that movie. There's only one reason you make the money: let him be Frank.
And so that movie has made money. Like it made like 80 mil domestic.
Yeah.
Like it was like a solid. And after that, I mean, I assume we're getting close to when this movie starts to be made. But
I
there's
imagine-
Crossing Over,
yes.
aka Woke Crash,
Right.
which went nowhere.
That was also delayed for years.
Right,
Because Sean
there's-
Penn was in it and he demanded they cut him out of it.
Cool.
There was a whole plot
Go to
line with Sean
Mars.
Penn where he didn't like the politics of the final movie.
Mm.
And he said he somehow
Not
had the
woke enough.
power to get his whole story chunk removed.
He-
Bob Honeydew stuff.
He was in the film Heartless, directed by the great Philip Ridley, which I've never seen, which is sort of like the last time Ridley made a movie. This year, obviously, has the insane 1-2 punch of Way Back and Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
He's the main voice in Ga'Hoole.
Right. I mean, at this point, his agent is basically just imagining, like, how big a vault will I need for the gold coins I'm going to be making off this guy?
And then One Day with Anne Hathaway and
Terrible
Cloud
movie.
Atlas are like the last two movies of what feel like the things that he got on after 21.
And Cloud Atlas is one of my favorite movies, and it's one of those things where you're like, oh, right, and Jim Sturgess.
Yeah.
You know, like all the other guys, you're like, cool. And then he's there too.
Because then it's 5 years of movies you haven't heard,
Never
and
heard.
then like Dean Devlin tries to make him the hero at the center of Geostorm, and then it goes back into movies you've never heard of.
I think he's done some TV.
Has he?
No way to know.
There kind of is no way to know, but he was the star of Feed the Beast
Oh, of course.
on AMC, and then he was the star of Home Before Dark
Mhm.
on Apple TV with Brooklyn Prince.
Of course.
And then he was the star of Mixtape, which
Yeah.
premiered on Binge.
Yeah, why are you saying things we all know?
What the fuck is going on?
You're wasting airtime.
Okay, so he cast Jim Sturgess. Like, that sounds great.
It just
for him.
feels very, like Griffin says, it's like, if you need a guy of this age, I'm sure 10 people passed on this movie.
Right, but like 10 years earlier, or not even like 5 years earlier, it's Ewan McGregor or it's Colin Farrell or it's,
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
With Farrell, as we often will hear about Farrell, I feel like they meet and Peter Weir was like, he's really fucking fun to talk to and hang out with. He had I was not going in thinking this was his part. He walked out with the part.
He's relishing. It feels like this
How close
opportunity.
is this to Eastern Promises in terms of art?
It was 07 maybe?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 07.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was like 9 or 10.
It's 7.
Okay, so tolerance for like tattooed Russian convicts is high.
Through the roof.
The Q score is immense.
The public is demanding it. They're angry every time they show up in a theater, and that kind of guy doesn't show up on
Where's
screen.
a guy with like a weird knife that he talks to?
This performance I found very subtle and moving.
Oh, yeah?
Ben,
I fucking love what I love about the Way Back
Yeah.
is that you're like, okay, when they're all gonna die, and Weir's like, no, actually only a couple, and some of them will just kind of stop walking for
Yeah.
other reasons.
They're just like, you know what? I'm tapping out.
Yeah, Farrell's just like, Mongolia. I fucking love Stalin though,
I was like actually bummed he didn't get a big dramatic death scene.
or just a big dramatic anything.
Yeah.
Ben, this is a tattooed crazy convict whose best friend is a knife.
That he calls
Yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah.
What did you think of this part of the movie and the general dryness of this movie?
Well, it was a subtle performance.
Best friend is a knife.
His best friend is a knife. You know, it's like one of the few objects he has left.
Yeah.
So, of course, I understand why it's so important to him. It's reminding him of, before he became, a gulag prisoner.
If Farrell wasn't going big in this movie, it would be tough
I
because,
was going to
everyone
say.
else is pretty low key in this movie.
Farrell getting the and in this movie, it starts immediately. Farrell has the juice, and I'm like, ugh, I'm going to hate it when he's out at the end
Right.
of the first act.
Right.
Because he's so front loaded that the only reason he would get the and is if he has an early exit.
And instead, it's no Mark
That's more
Strong.
Mark Strong, yeah.
Exits in the first act, and Farrell exits in the second act.
Yes.
Okay, but Russian prison tattoos are fucking awesome. And it was definitely something that went across my desk at one point in my
Well,
life.
there was like that book that was everywhere. It was like
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
Urban Outfitters on the counter book
Totally.
of Russian tattoos.
Yes.
That's why you have those
Yes.
diamonds on your kneecaps.
Right. Well, of course.
Saoirse Ronan, I mean, you don't need to explain casting her.
Yeah.
But as Peter Weir says, she's got an old soul. She's, so talented, blah, blah. I mean, like, obviously you fucking cast
Here
her.
was my experience watching this movie last night. You see just her frame off in the distance,
Yeah.
right? The guys see someone walking towards them, and I was like, "Oh my god, yes! Here we go, Saoirse Ronan." Oh no, wait, this is one of those movies where she's still a child.
Right.
Just immediately was like, "Oh right, she's a little kid in this."
Yeah, I mean, she's probably
I think
like
there's a
14
Peggy
or
Siegel, Jeffrey
15.
Epstein email to that same effect.
Almost definitely.
She would have been about 15 or 16 when she made
Really?
it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
She's
she's 15. Yeah.
When's Atonement? Isn't Atonement?
Atonement's
07.
07.
Your
07.
favorite, the year you can't remember, clearly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Lovely Bones is 08 and City of Ember is 09.
Well, everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
I haven't checked in with the City of Ember recently.
So, going great.
So this film was shot in Bulgaria and Morocco, some shooting in India, I think, right for the end.
Mhm.
So the Bulgarian forest became the Siberian forest. Crazy. Morocco is the Gobi Desert. Crazy. Okay, cool. They weren't actually going to be able to film in the real Gobi Desert or Russia because of problems that would come up with doing that.
Mhm.
Bulgaria obviously has like old Soviet era studios. They're being used now. I mean, this is how you make fucking any movie these days.
Sure. Yeah.
And he had to shoot on location. It was an advantage visually. It was an advantage psychologically. I wanted to create true emotion for the audience to connect with these people. I mean, it's what you're talking about, Griffin. It's like they're all talking about this movie with so much integrity and so seriously. And it was so fucking hard to make it. And they're all giving these interviews, I assume, because these interviews are all from January 2011, being like, but it was all worth it to make the way back.
I just want the listener to know that ARP has entered the bathroom. We just need to quickly, I think, give some space to make sure no toilets are broken, no oops are loudly uttered. I just want to, we're a little bit on edge until we hear the flush, right? Just knowing the history of ARP in this bathroom. I was going
trying to find if there's any other, there's nothing else that's like really that interesting about how they made this movie to me, honestly.
It is.
They shot on location. It was really hard.
Yeah. Weir kept saying he had this running bit in the making of thing about how he had to approach casting the locations like he was casting actors because they couldn't film in most of the real places that they walked through. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, which country is going to double for which other country? But this movie truly had 4 months of filming across multiple continents.
Right. And then the film exits production and doesn't have a distributor.
Yeah.
Like they can't find a distributor. Now it is like, it's post-recession, I guess. Yeah. Like that's what Weir is saying.
Okay, we're hearing a flush. All good so far.
Okay, the seat is down.
Okay.
But after, like, it basically takes until they play at the Telluride Film Festival and Newmarket signs on. So that's in September 2010.
Right.
So, like, it really was, like, touch and go if this was even going to get released in 2010, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm sure you remember it was just on all these lists of like, and maybe this is a chance for like an Ed Harris career. There wasn't like a focus
Colin
to a campaign.
Comeback, Harris career capper,
but there
Peter
was
Weir usually gets
like,
nods.
There's a Peter Weir movie that many people haven't seen, but like it might be able to score in a few categories. And then looking through it, it's like it basically got 0 precursor noms anywhere, not even critics groups. And then just kind of got the surprise makeup nomination.
You pointed out, like, both publicly and privately, that even by this time, the strategy of, like, the Oscar hopeful movie comes out December 25th was just kind of cooked.
It's
like,
a nightmare.
Even then, you couldn't
do it.
Put it in there that late, especially with, like, a distributor that's probably, like, at that point, just one person sitting on the floor in an empty office answering the phone.
Correct. Right. It's like, if you're going to do that, you need to push, like, an incredibly major campaign to get it, like, in front of everyone. In this movie, it's like, no, but they walked. Right. Their skin got so dry, and people are like, Well,
Ben is. I mean, you like the dryness, right? One of the drier movies.
It's very dry
because you were watching Mosquito Coast. You're like, this is damp and muggy. I don't like this.
No, it looked really unpleasant. Way too buggy.
Except for the mosquito part of this movie, which is fucked up.
It's so fucked up. I have to say that it looked unpleasant being in the desert.
So you figured walking across the Gobi Desert by yourself with no possessions would be easy, but actually it seems like pretty shitty.
Yes.
Now, Ben, you were saying that you ran out of your lozenges that you're fixated on now. Have you considered sucking on pebbles?
Hot pebbles?
Not just any pebble.
Yeah.
It'll keep your mouth salivating.
Just get a little moisture out of it.
You don't have to keep buying them. You can just find them and carry them around in your pocket.
Yeah, you save money.
Less sugar intake, too, by far.
I kept thinking.
Pebbles have almost no sugar. It's actually crazy we don't eat them all the time.
Wouldn't surprise people if Ben came in one day saying, like, what I've started doing is sucking on rocks.
I think I'd be a little alarmed.
I didn't say wouldn't be alarmed. I said you wouldn't be surprised.
And then we find out he's selling bags of rocks.
Yeah. I become a rock influencer. It's my new diet trick.
Yeah, rock
suck on rocks.
I kept thinking.
It works everyone in this movie is shedding the pounds.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're looking trim.
It'd be funny if, like, Gustav Skarsgård kept getting fatter. And like, how are you doing this? Like, there's one guy on
He's got a stash of fluffer.
Yeah, he's like,
sandwiches or
right.
Yeah.
I actually found a cotton candy machine. I haven't told you guys.
That's always a good bit.
David, did you overall like this movie?
I think this movie's pretty good. Yes, I was basically like dreading watching it a little bit, and certainly there are parts of it that are sad, and I was sad when people died and so on and so forth. But like the sort of procedural. I just felt like it wasn't too heavy on the like Revenant style. This was so punishing.
Sure.
You must be punished as they were punished.
I had this thought many times while watching the film. Like, I definitely prefer this to The Revenant because it's not doing that. It's not like shoving your face into the dog shit.
Yeah,
and
many a true story type movie
Right.
can do that. Like, don't you understand like how bad this was? And I'm like, yes, I'm a
Maybe it's because
fucking
I've already
intelligent
seen this, but
person.
I never thought this movie was that. Just because it was at a time where that wasn't really in vogue of like the point of this movie is a miserable experience.
But my other fear, of course, was there's going to be kind of treacly of this sort of like, the human spirit
Right.
and endures, which it doesn't
have that at all.
It's not that at all.
At the end is truly like, all right, see you guys.
Instead, it has like lovely little moments that I
Yes.
like of dialogue and like
he's just
character.
there's so much stuff in the middle of the movie where like just his eye is so great. Like some of the this is a guy, Peter Weir. You know he's making people wait around to get a 10-second shot at sunset.
Totally.
You know he's making everyone stand in one place for 45 minutes until the sun is perfect for a shot that serves no narrative purpose.
And the shot is worth it. It doesn't feel like it's indulgence, right? It doesn't feel like it's sort of him self-stylizing.
And Ed Harris is there like shadow boxing, being like, this is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Like, just wait in the hot setting sun.
Right.
And
I feel like everyone's on board in
course.
that way, right?
Yes,
like
that's what
Farrell's like,
they all
yes, this
say.
is what I want to be doing.
They
Saoirse
like the
Ronan.
focus. They like the discipline of it.
do you like survival, like
That's what I was going to ask
prison
these
break
two.
movies?
Did you?
Because you're talking about The Revenant, which doesn't occur to me at all. I'm watching this thinking like Papillon, Runaway Train. Like,
Sure.
I'm thinking of like people who break out of jail, and the movie is like, if you don't keep moving, you will get caught and you will die.
Because you guys famously are outdoorsy people,
Yeah.
love hiking. So
I do
just
love
I was
hiking.
wondering how you related to that aspect of the
I mean,
film
I
as well.
simply would not do this.
I like
That's
How
not what
long
I asked.
would you survive?
If
No,
I'm in the movie way back at minute 5, I eat a bowl of bullets. I just swallow them.
I did.
I'm in the gulag,
I
and I'm
kept
just
saying
like,
to Forky, like, I think by this point I'm dead. By this point I'm definitely dead. Like, dead here, dead here. You
Yeah.
know?
I think Griffin would do well in the gulag. I don't think you'd want to leave.
That's
you'd be
actually
one
not
of
a
those
bad
guys
take.
being like, hey, I drew like a naked lady on a piece of paper. 3 cigarettes, please.
3
Like,
hots in a cot,
I don't think they got a lot of hots or cots.
Okay,
It was pretty rough there.
1 cold in a floor.
Yeah, it's kind of more the vibe. 1.5 colds in a floor.
I do like a mattress, so that's maybe where I'd be struggling. But I do think I'd make friends.
I'm imagining you showing up to the gulag and they're like, what's your name? And you're like, just FYI, I do like a mattress.
I feel like Griffin's
You
role
can put that in my file.
Yeah.
His role in The Way Back is kind of Rob Schneider and Judge Dredd, where you're just walking across the wasteland and everyone's like, this guy is still talking.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
If you were in The Way Back, not in real life, but if
I think I'd
if it was life or death, I
Sure.
think that would be the vibe you bring.
I think I'd be at the midpoint between that and Mark Strong.
Okay.
Right? Where it's
I
like,
know-
this guy doesn't really want to escape.
Right. I
but
like that
he
conception
finds a
of
way
his
to keep
character.
himself
You're that guy.
entertained.
Right. It's
telling
like
the
he talks.
story.
That's the Mark Strong
Right. He
character.
talks about escaping
Sinestro.
as a way to kind of
Right.
get through
Or you'd
the
be like
days.
Mr. Burns when it's the fighting hellfish or the flying hellfish flashback, and he wakes up on the cot, and they're like, "Hey, you're not dead."
Yes.
I would just to your like Papillon's a movie I find a smidge. It's a bit of a slog. It's got cool stuff. Runaway Train I like because 1, it's on a train,
Well, that's true.
and 2, that movie is bananas.
Cold.
Like
Cold
it is
movie.
cold, but I mean like that's something where John Voight was like bigger, and the director was like, and John Voight's like, what if I went even bigger? The director's like, like, and that just kept going and going.
Yeah.
And Eric Roberts, he's insane in that movie. Have you
But
seen
these-
Runaway Train?
Yeah. Yeah.
These
yeah.
movies
So
are more
crazy.
alike to me because this is a World War II movie, but not really. This is why.
Very not barely at all.
But
Right, yes.
it fits into our at-home syllabus of World War II. But even rewatching it, it's interesting because the Russian experience of World War II is entirely inscrutable to Americans. You're never taught it. It's not
Yeah,
part of the
right.
history. I mean, it is, but it's not part of the history you learn. And the average person couldn't describe even vaguely what Russia was doing during World War II because they're both like
Average American, I would say.
the average, well, yes, not the average human on Earth, but like it is very hard to understand.
Yeah.
And this movie is that, but it
Yes.
also,
Sort of.
I mean, literally, partially, but it's a World War II movie in
No, but-
spirit,
Okay.
but it has no combat.
It's not about the
Has
Eastern
no
Front, and
Nazis.
these are all enemies of the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
which is why they're in the Gulag.
But you know who else was enemies of the Soviet Union?
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah. See, that's why people get confused about this.
They sure do.
It's like, wait, if they were fighting against the Nazis, why are they imprisoning people who seem okay? And it becomes very confusing. And as Anna wanted me to point out, Russia was just basically in the middle of purging their entire population anyway.
Right.
And they were using this as a fine opportunity to continue their essentially reign of terror.
And I like the setup. I mean, it's just, I guess, historically accurate, but that the gulags at this point in time are like half criminals, half political criminals.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got guys like Colin Farrell alongside guys like Ed Harris, who's just like an engineer who moved to Russia for work and is now,
subversive. And so he's, and like Janusz, Jim Sturgess, is Polish, and of course the Soviets conquered Poland when they were allied with Hitler.
His wife sells him out at the beginning of the movie.
I mean,
assuming that
strong.
He
She's
will
coerced into yeah,
right, and then she thinks he will break.
Right.
Yes, in interrogation. I mean, I agree with you guys that this movie is good, right? Like
it's like pretty good. I mean, I did not think it was a masterpiece. I was sort of a little whelmed, but I had fairly low expectations, so I was like, right, no, this is a well-made movie, and he's a good director. And what was I thinking?
I just don't think he could fumble, even with half the resources he wants. His eye, his instincts. Like, I hate this phrase. I hate when people are like, "This director always knows exactly where to put the camera." It's like, so does everybody in front of the actors. Like, this is an insane sentence, but his instincts of like visual storytelling are so muscular. Even in a drama, even in Dead Poets Society, he can't ever frame things in a way that you're not like, this is cool looking, this place feels real, these actors are in the moment, and he's in complete control, and this movie is totally solid. Like, I'm not saying it's even, it could only not be in the top 5 of his because his highs are untouchable. But, the response to it or the new market dumping of it, its non-existence is totally undeserved.
Well, it's a really strong representation of this exact moment in film history where things are just kind of like falling apart and no one knows, like, is there a way to make these movies anymore?
Well, that's why I found it fascinating and called it months ago.
Yes.
Just because it is that to me. And he's really just, he would have been the top of anyone. I'm sure there was a time where he was ahead of Ridley Scott on people's lists.
Yeah. I think like,
but he never made... Like, what's it like? He didn't have a
Ridley had a really terrible 90s. I mean, like in between Thelma and Louise and Gladiator, Ridley makes movies.
Gladiator.
What would you rather watch, White Squall or Master and Commander? It's tough.
Master and Commander.
Okay, it's a toss up.
You're saying that's a toss up?
Oh yeah, both of these guys took to the sea.
Sure, right. But I think
largely similar results.
I think the better comparison is if Gladiator had performed, or rather, if Master and Commander had performed the way the Gladiator did. Both financially and at the Oscars, what do the next 15 to 20 years of Peter Weir look like?
And I also feel like...
Versus that was like the second wing that like gets to the next 25 years of Ridley Scott being unstoppable.
Peter Weir could have made Gladiator. Ridley Scott could not have made Master and Commander.
I think Ridley Scott could have made Master and Commander, it just wouldn't have been as good.
Well,
And I love
of course,
Ridley
he
Scott.
could have made it, and he might have, but it would have not been... Gladiator in Peter Weir's hands is, I think, an equally great movie.
Yeah. This is my struggle with this film, and I think I put it at the bottom of my Weir rankings.
Bottom.
A lot of look, I think the guy's never made a bad film, so I'm just rating.
He's
rating
definitely putting it at the bottom.
Things 3 and above.
But you don't like War.
I don't like War.
You're a real 4F.
Absolutely, I'm flat-footed as shit. I got bone spurs in my arms. I got bone spurs in my brain.
In your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on. Yeah.
I think what I was struggling with, and it's frustrating because I'm like, it is because Peter Weir has so much integrity, has such like control of the dial, and is like not compromising the story to meet the sort of like commercial demands of the moment, that I felt like I was struggling to find a handle on it. I think this film is like impeccably made. I think basically everyone in the cast is like good to great. Like Sturgess is probably the worst, and he's solid. He just doesn't really register. And everyone above him is like shades of excellent. All the sort of stuff that could be seen as like bravado, we're going to go out here and struggle. I'm going to fight to get like a 10-second shot just to prove that I'm like this serious of an artist. Like all of that is on screen. None of that is like performative chest thumpy shit. But I kept being like, do I need this movie to have 10% of some Hollywood bullshit in some area? Do I wish this had like 10% more adventure? Because basically from the moment they escape, it's just, we have a really long way to walk.
They
right?
sure do.
The conflict is, are we going to die before we finish this walk? But unlike the sort of prison escape movies you're talking about, there's not the kind of like, we're being chased shit. I don't want Tommy Lee Jones on their back. But from the moment they escape, and the escape is not that much of a movie.
No.
Right? Then you're just sort of in like...
Escape is exciting.
Is this a funereal march, right? Well, how many guys are going to die? How long is this going to go on for?
The other thing is you keep thinking like, well, for example, will Colin Farrell turn on people? He's obviously the wild card, right? He can't be trusted. Will Saoirse Ronan, she's introduced where it's like, what's this girl's deal? She's lying about her background. And the answer is like, she lies because like she wants to have a more sympathetic sounding background than my parents were political dissidents.
Yeah.
Like,
no more lies, as Anna quoted.
Right. But like, it keeps not doing the more dramatic swervy thing of like they fight with each other.
I'm respecting.
They betray each other, which I respect
I'm
too.
respecting that it's not doing the endurance of the human spirit.
They don't fucking come across like a bear that like tries to eat them.
I respect.
That might have been fun though.
There's no
the wolves are settled really quickly. Like anytime it gives
everyone
you
is very
something-
respectful to her.
Yes.
Right. There's not like a creepy sexual element with her character.
And her dynamic with Ed Harris is probably my favorite part of the movie. But as you said, these are all like really small, graceful character brushstrokes.
Even the
these
snake.
beautiful moments.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like the
When
snake,
they're
it's
eating
not
a
a snake attack. He's actually following the snake to water.
the water.
Anna said, why does that look good to me when they're eating the snake? Because when hungry people are eating in a movie, it looks they make it look good.
Yeah.
But it basically keeps...
Also, those wolves looked great. I mean, when that scene happened, it's like, even in 2010, you're like, shit, he got real wolves. And it's like, Peter Weir's not fucking around with CG wolves. Like,
it basically
he's telling like the actors, like, keep your hands where the wolves can see them.
Totally.
They're not trained.
It refuses to like turn any of these things into like Roland Emmerich set pieces, right? It refuses to like create like artificial interpersonal drama between the people. There are moments and there are tensions and whatever. And I just kind of kept being like, I'm having a hard time staying with this because it just feels like, yeah, this sucks. I agree this sucks. And it continues to suck. And I don't mean this backhandedly, but I kept thinking while watching this movie and then watching this fucking special feature of all of them talking about how difficult it was. And I'm like, that's not in vain. All of that is on screen. But I like flash back to being in an acting class in my 20s with the great Elizabeth Camp, R.I.P., who was the best acting teacher I ever worked with. And there was a guy who wanted to do a Long Day's Journey into Night. And in this class, rather than just like do the text of the scene, she'd be like, work on the character and then present to us like a moment, if it's a private moment or an improvised thing. But I don't want you thinking about how to say the dialogue right. I want you to try to explore your take on the character, right? And so the guy just leans into playing the sickness. And he's just sort of like curled up in a ball, sort of like an alcohol withdrawal, like shaking and crying. And we just watch this for like 7 minutes. And I'm sitting there being like, God, this guy's a good fucking actor. This is crazy. I don't have this kind of like physical control and like emotional, like, you know, recall and whatever. And then she goes like, are you done? Do you feel like you've done everything you wanted to show us? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. And she goes, good. Okay. So now we know you can do that.
Right. You feel like,
What did you?
I probably told this story before.
What did you bring into this session?
That's
a good question.
You rolled into a ball 7-8 minutes.
I feel like I was doing Tom and Glass Menagerie, but then I also remember
you weren't allowed to like bring in, you know, like a monologue from The Usual Suspects or something.
I think you could have.
Okay.
In fact, I probably did at some point bring in some movie character, but I also ended up getting thrown into other people's scenes a lot, where it's like,
isn't that part of it? It's like,
well, this woman's working on Proof. Can you be the Jake Gyllenhaal part? And I'd be like, great. I'm really good at improvising math.
So what did you think? Who did you think was okay? So now that we know you can do that in this movie, Weir or?
I think the whole movie has a little bit of that vibe where it was like, it's not that this is showy. It's not that this is, hollow. This is like incredibly skillful and is like rooted in something really honest and like powerful. But then she said, like, we know you can do that, but like, now let's work on how can you actually tell a story? And it's not that I feel like this movie isn't telling a story, but I kept feeling like, unlike The Revenant, which I feel like, as I said, is pushing your face in the dog shit and saying, like, can you believe how hard this is and trying to make you suffer along with the characters? I think this movie is maintaining a distance and is showing you the suffering that is mirroring what everyone was going through while working on the film. And I'm sitting there a little bit and going, like, I agree. This is, like, very impressive that they did this. this is objectively insane to consider any human beings going through this. I don't quite understand what I'm supposed to take away from this. I'm not looking for like a G.I. Joe PSA at the end.
Do you like Castaway?
I love Castaway.
Okay. Which is very schmaltzy, but...
It's very schmaltzy, and I'm not begging this movie to be a schmaltzy, but I do feel like Castaway has the kind of like Hollywood building blocks.
He needed a Wilson.
Yeah. Well, they had the knife. I mean, the
knife is kind of the Wilson of the movie. You're
Wolfson.
right.
Yeah.
Wolfson.
And truly, like,
did they send out promotional knives for this movie?
I wish.
Did you get a promo knife
for this movie?
Yeah, Newmarket was famous for their swag.
Memento had some promo stuff.
But I was like, if this has an electric young leading man, does it carry me through the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I know Sturgess is really taking some hits from us today, but I do feel
he's
like
not bad in it. But
no,
he's
not.
He's fine. But I think if you stacked up every Weir movie and you rank the
leading
lead
man.
performances, he's the bottom.
No
He's
question.
And only because that is literally Mount Rushmore.
Right. He's a rare guy that really did not pop in the hands of Weir.
I mean, even he launched the career of Napoleon in fucking Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's
you know?
True.
You know what might have maybe helped?
What?
And this is a part of the book that was not included in the film. There are Yeti-like creatures in the Himalayas that they mentioned spotting. A pair of Yeti.
It would be funny if, like, 1 hour and 55 minutes into the movie, they're like, "Oh, and by the way, we fucking saw the abominable snowman." Anyway, moving on back to Indy. You know, like,
what if the snowman takes them inside his lair and they're tied up and they have to escape?
That's what happens in Tintin in Tibet. Not to spoil it.
Wow.
But Griffin, in the hopeless survival narratives, like the moment where they come to the gates of where they've been going,
sure,
and there's like Stalin on the gates, and they're like, "Oh, this is communist too. We have to just turn around."
Yeah.
Does that not satisfy the urge of like a tragic, ironic story beat?
That beat is very interesting, but it's played very quietly. I really like that beat because I like them being like, "Fuck!" Like it's everywhere, and we are enemies of this particular ideology, so we can't go. Like, we can't settle here or
this
whatever.
This is where I am just personally struggling with the film and not making
really
a larger indictment, right?
And then I love Colin Farrell being like, I like Stalin too much to go here. Anyway, carry on.
I love it as well, but I'm like, this is a fascinating scene in and of itself. I'm really engaged in this scene. The scenes aren't like building upon each other for me, and it's just the nature of what the narrative is, where the fact that it's like, oh, they get here and there's this like dramatic irony of, oh, now we have to like find another way. But also 5 minutes earlier, the movie lost Colin Farrell, the most interesting character, because he was like, I don't want to get to that ideological threshold. And now I'm like, okay, so now the movie's like hit a cul-de-sac. And also we lost Colin Farrell, whose character bowed out of the movie because he thought this checkpoint was going to go differently.
But now Saoirse Ronan kind of is stepping up to be like the third lead when he's gone.
Which I think she's great in
the
it.
Two kind of Griffin beats that are when he suggests the tattoo should be on his butt.
Yeah,
that's your
really
that'd be your move there.
Right.
And then of
Stalin
course,
on his asshole.
You'd be threatened with a knife.
So
and the guy who just can't see and freezes to death.
Well, that's who I would play.
Yeah. Like, what happened to Griffin? It's like, I don't know. He has bad eyesight. Oh, there he is. He's frozen.
Well, no, it'd be what happened to Griffin. He slept in. He missed the escape.
He couldn't hit his like alarm, which is just like a bunch of sticks.
Oh,
it's the
he hit it, but he hit the fucking snooze stick 80 times.
It is nice to see Gustav Skarsgård, an actor I always enjoy, who obviously is largely, mostly does Swedish movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's really good.
He's really good in Black Bag.
Yeah,
he was good in Oppenheimer.
He's good, and he was good in Westworld. Actually, to speak of Ed Harris's favorite role.
So, Griffin, you feel like the movie goes off a cliff when Farrell stays in Russia?
I would say it goes off a cliff. It does slow down a little bit.
It loses a lot of juice.
Saoirse dying is a really like well done scene. Yes. It's beautifully done, actually.
It is. It's
I was beautifully
really
acted and done.
Yeah.
But I am like, I'm a little deadened to the movie.
I think Farrell's the spark plug. I think Farrell is the equivalent of adding you into the News and Deals group chat. Like, you need him there to create the like innate tension of like, where's this guy gonna go?
Yeah.
And I'm expecting.
Yes, I'll take that.
Right, and I'm expecting that, like, as much as I'm going to be sorry to see him leave the movie early, it will come to like a head in a very dramatic fashion.
There's nothing like that. Well, because the elements are like that. The sandstorm is that. The mosquitoes are that.
Yeah.
When she takes off.
Although I like the mosquitoes, the way they deal with it is they ask one guy, like, "How do we deal with this?" And he's like, "Easy. Put this shit around your neck."
There's just some guy wandering around Mongolia.
Yeah.
When Saoirse Ronan takes off her shoes and her feet are all fat, Anna just goes, I remember this part so well.
Your favorite part?
I was like, why?
It is kind of striking because they're like, oh, yeah. And she's like, I mean, I've been walking a lot. And everyone's like,
You're used to the blistering.
Feet are supposed to look like this. Like, you're going to be fine.
I'm used to the blistering sores of feet and stuff like this. You're not used to this weird kind of puffiness. And then someone else has it later.
Yeah.
Very, very well-earned makeup nom. Like, the makeup in this
really
is incredible, and it is so subtly done that you have to keep reminding yourself that it is makeup.
From the mosquito bites to the dehydration.
Right. You just feel like you're watching a documentary.
It lost, of course, to The Wolfman because that has a wolf.
Well, The Wolfman swept that year, I feel like. It was kind of the return of the king of those Oscars.
Director.
Rick Baker,
Best supporting Wolfman.
The GOAT. I have always disliked the look of that character in that
We've
movie.
talked about this, right?
Yeah.
You're not a big fan of the Baker job, and that's sort of like one of his big, later in life
his,
jobs.
Kind of swan song. Like, to a certain extent, I think it's his last Oscar win, and he basically talked about the process of making that movie drove him so insane that he had his own kind of Peter Weir, like, I guess I'm not aligned with this industry anymore moment.
Yeah, right.
Like, he still did Men in Black 3.
Sure.
He fulfilled a couple legacy jobs, but he basically starts pulling back after Wolfman.
Yeah.
And he views it as like, that was the last time I got away with doing what I want to do. And I've just never...
Maleficent is the other one he did.
But he didn't win for that, or he did?
He didn't even get nominated.
Insane.
He just worked on the movie.
Yeah. I don't get that design.
So once the movie progresses, because it's such a simple literal movie.
Yes.
There's very little like, oh, what about this part? It's basically like, what about the mosquitoes? What about when they find the water well and they all start drinking water?
So removing the schmaltz from the equation,
what about
right?
when the Mongols give them a sack of water,
like,
and they say they're too poor for horses, and they're just like, okay, well, we have no questions about why you people are wandering around out here.
I like all of these moments. Castaway, I am a sap, a contrarian, and a goofball.
Do you like Jerry?
Yes.
Oh, the Van Sant movie?
Yeah.
That's the best. That movie fucking rocks.
I put this movie closer to Jerry than The Revenant.
But Jerry is like abstracting everything to the millionth
what
degree,
works for me.
which is so cool. I mean, Jerry rocks.
So
great. Bring back Jerry. Jerry 2? Jerry's?
Castaway comparison.
Is Van Sant still on the board?
Well, he's going up against your favorite filmmaker of all time, Chris Columbus, right now.
Let me vote while we're sitting here.
Castaway
vote against
has
Columbus.
The structure of problem solving, which is what I think I like in this type of movie when I connect to this type of film.
Yeah.
And
which is the fun of Send Help, even like any island movie.
Well, also, I mean, this is insane. Chris Columbus is winning. Who the fuck wants this over a Psycho remake episode?
I would very much love to discuss the Psycho remake, a movie I love.
But the other, like, to us, like in the movies we like watching at home, there's like the two kinds of this kind of movie you're describing is something like The Martian, which has a kind of identical problem solving structure, and then there's the kind of like seafaring adventure shipwreck in the heart of the sea, where it's just like another thing of like, can these people survive?
But in the heart of the sea is one that nobody liked, because that one's much grimmer.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people like that movie. I think a lot of people find that to be like a really worthy seafaring adventure.
People,
yeah. Definitely, I think a very popular.
There's like a whale is writing that right now. Like, I think a lot of people like that movie and wanted to come back.
Even like All Is Lost, which is not my favorite movie and is similarly like very sparse.
That's not your favorite movie?
It's not, in fact, my number one favorite movie of all time.
Sight and Sound poll number 1. All Is Lost.
I know people
number 2,
think
The Muppet Movie.
Where you're like, I know these are unranked, but just to be clear, All Is Lost is number 1.
All 4 slots on my letterbox 4.
Yeah.
It's not. Some is lost.
No, it's All Is Lost. You have to respect the all.
I always thought that was your favorite movie.
This is why I'm trying to correct this scurrilous rumor.
Even All Is Lost, which is not your favorite movie. Please finish your thought.
And it's so stripped down and obviously like mostly
no talking,
wordless and whatever, has that kind of like, okay, here's this one problem. He's got to solve this, where I feel it stacking up. And I think this movie, I rewatched Day After Tomorrow recently.
So did I.
A movie that fucking rules that David's wrong about.
Not a movie I like.
But that is a movie where I'm always fascinated by its Hollywood junkiness, where it's like, we can keep escalating the type of natural disasters that happen. And then you feel 2/3 into the movie them go, fuck, There is no way to resolve this film.
Right.
They can't undo the weather.
No.
And there's nothing for them to conquer. Right. There is no way for them to score a win.
Randy Quaid can't fly a plane into those alien
And then they're
spaceship.
like, I guess they have to fight wolves. I guess like Dennis Quaid has to come to him. I always forget how late in the movie
That's
Dennis
like right
Quaid
at the end, right?
even starts his journey. It's over an hour before he's like, fuck it, I'm walking. Right. I'm going to do my own long walk. And then that's pretty expedited. And I feel this movie being like, Peter Weir pitching this to studios being like, cool, so can every 15 minutes something insane happen? The guys have to try to kill each other. There have to be like big kind of like conflicts that they can like score wins over. And he's like, no, that's not the kind of movie I'm making. And he has like...
You're saying he's Costanzaing it.
Yes, and then he's overcorrected.
No, nothing happens.
So far into the, well, if I'm not making it with the studio, then I'm making it exactly the way I want. And I'm not going for any Hollywood bullshit artifice. And I'm like, I could use like 5 to 10% more kind of like, not wins.
Well, I mean, what you're describing is the way Mosquito Coast is structured.
Yes.
Which is like a series of builds and activities and ice transports and little things that arise and sort of like endless obstacles that he's facing.
It's so focused in its bleakness. It's not like selling out the message of the movie and the integrity of like, you know, the character study and all of that. But it does have that kind of build that I think I was just kind of struggling to hold on to here. Every scene would happen, I'd be like, this is a good scene. And then the next scene would start and I'd be like, okay, this scene has to win me over again from 0.
Where do you guys? Once we hit the monks is when I'm like, I'm parking my ass here. This is great. I want to hang out with you guys. Like, this is great. I don't want to go to keep walking.
They leave at Harris there, and I'm like, why are you not staying there?
Because Sturgess is like, I gotta get home right.
Anna was very perplexed.
I gotta get home to my fucking wife.
Anna's comment at the end of
me down the river.
Our rewatch was like, I did not know that the point of this movie was like this eternal love that he has to return to.
I feel like they debut that notion pretty late.
Even though it is the first scene in the movie.
It's the first scene in the movie, and then you have a couple times where it's sort of the vision of the door, which I like.
Right.
That.
That stuff is, I mean, Weir's just good at that stuff.
He's good at that stuff. But
there's so much of that in Truman Show, too.
Again,
like,
because this movie doesn't have like over-labored kind of monologues of like guys being like, yeah, that's my wife, I love her so much. You know, like
the photos in the helmet.
Right. It does take a while for him to be like, oh, no, by the way, like we gotta cross the Himalayas right fucking now, even though like clearly the wisest man you've ever seen was like, not a good idea. It's the winter. Like, wait until spring.
Yetis. There be Yetis.
Yeah. This was another thing I thought while watching
that was the missed
opportunity
for me.
The other thing I thought was, would this movie benefit from starting 1 week earlier rather than starting in the interrogation room?
Giving you like Sturgess in Poland being rounded up?
Well, let's also say maybe it's a guy with a little more juice than Sturgess, right?
Who is that? I mean, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole at this point. But
it's like, a really good question.
In 2010.
At this moment, it's tough. We can keep pointing to
But this is also when like male actors started basically
but like,
being,
if it's
being
Chris
hunted
Pine,
for sport.
Who is new then? Is that more interesting? Or do we shoot higher? Do we get like Matt Damon? You know, do we get like a very established actor?
It's tough because it's like, if it's 2000, the options are overflowing.
Yeah, but then you could end up with like a Tobey Maguire, where you're like, I don't know what that looks like, you know? I don't know why I'm going to him, but he did occur to me.
He's Sturgess-esque in his gentleness.
I just think I realized too late in this movie, much like it sounds Anna did, oh, right, the thing that's driving him is wanting to see his wife again.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which this movie in its stoicness is not
what if it's fucking James Franco, like who made a survival thriller this year?
Now we're talking.
Yeah, although like that's the better survival thriller for him to be in.
It is. I'm not, you know.
But you mean like a guy who's just kind of innately charismatic?
Can be, although sometimes Franco, you're kind of like, did you forget to plug in today, buddy?
But I think him at that time would put himself in the hands of a master like Weir, and he would rise to the assignment.
One would assume
at this time.
I do think he wants a certain emotionality in this role, though, right? Like he wants a certain.
But the script doesn't support that because there isn't any of those moments of like, what are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do when you get back?
Right.
Kiss my wife. What about you? Hug my mother. Like, there's none of that.
That's why I'm like, does it need to start a week earlier so that there's some status quo of their relationship rather than it starting with him in the interrogation and her like setting him up and him falling on the sword? You know,
it doesn't make sense too because, and I guess the characters at that time don't know this, right? That the war will eventually end, but even beyond the war, like the
Iron Curtain
occupation
will fall,
exactly.
and so he won't be able to go to, as we see right at the end.
Right. So it's like the chance of him being able to go back and see his wife, it doesn't seem like it could happen like within his lifetime.
The postscripts that like follow the fall of communism are it's like, wow, this is really consolidating decades of history into a series of title cards.
With footsteps over them, because it's like, oh, right, he hasn't gotten to the end of his problems.
The walk continues.
I think a lot of prison movies too, like you gotta see some amount of their life on the outside before they go in to understand what they've lost.
Okay.
I don't think without exception, but I felt like I didn't have enough of a grounding in this guy to have him be the one driving the movie.
I guess because we watch like 30 World War II films a year kind of in a row.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know what he was doing last week. I know what happened to Poland.
Sure.
You've seen Schindler's List. You know what happened to Poland.
I have. Yeah.
Do you like those movies?
I love Schindler's List.
You like the Spielberg treatment of a World War II?
Well, he's only seen Saving Private Ryan one time.
Gave me a fucking panic attack. I had to stop them. But I do own the Steelbook. I own the 4K.
Thank God.
A commitment to rewatching it someday.
Do you fuck with Fury?
I like Fury okay.
Fury's all right.
Anna said last night after this, first of all, so excited to rewatch it. Then she goes, man, what a great movie. Really comforting. I could see watching this once a year. And I said, really, once a year? She goes, yeah, I mean, it's not like really intense and something that's hard to watch like Fury. And I said, Anna, you watch Fury all the time. She goes, okay, well, not Fury, but like something that would be more intense than Fury.
Like 2 months ago, I texted you, Arp, I want to make a pitch. What if we put you on? And I named a bigger
Well, you'll probably have announced that by
in the
now.
next main. We'll announce at the end of this episode.
Oh, okay, great.
You
can announce it in the middle so that people have to listen.
And then you were like, why would I not be doing the way back? And I was like, well, I assumed you only put your finger down on way back because of the like most irrelevant movie in a filmmaker's career. And you were like, you're forgetting that I like
War Season. You don't know about War Season.
That
you do know about
fucking,
I knew.
Can you share with the listener War Season?
Basically like 15 years ago, we were driving up to Vermont for the weekend and we bought some DVDs at a gas station, as one did at the time.
Mm-hmm.
One of those DVDs was Ed Zwick's Defiance, a film we had not yet seen. We go to a snowy cabin, we watch Defiance. Turns out it's a masterpiece. Just fucking incredible. I mean, that's a movie like this also. Just like
the Ed Zwick movie?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Defiance for me is a perfect example of Oscar nomination morning. Defiance gets 0 noms. I go, what a relief. I never have to watch that.
Dragged to recycle bin.
It is better than if that movie came out last year, not last year, but 2 years ago, it would be like, well, this is the best movie of the year.
If it came out last year, would you put it above or below Nuremberg?
Above.
Okay.
Defiance is an excellent film that is really well made with 3 incredible performances from Craig, Schreiber, and Jamie Bell.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a good... it is what you are saying you want from this movie.
Maybe
it is an endless slog of hopeless survival set against inhospitable elements, but with that Hollywood sheen and the melodrama layered over it with romance. So we watched that and we were like, this fucking rules. Defiance is great. We go home, our neighbors ask us to cat sit. We're feeding their cat, we look on their DVD shelf. We have 2 things there that we're interested in, Schindler's List and Shoah. Take them upstairs and we watch them in the week that they're gone.
Sounds like a fun week.
So now we're thinking this is Holocaust season. So then we spend like 5 years.
To be clear, my head is in my hands.
We spend like 5 years in the dead of winter.
Ben, can we commission a shirt that says, and now we're thinking it's Holocaust season?
Now, wait a minute.
With a cartoon depiction of
ours. Sort of the prologue. Because then
wearing a Slayer shirt.
So for like 5 years, every February, March, when it's just the worst out, gray, cold, hopeless.
Sure, and you've been in winter for months.
Every year, we're like, okay, so let's do like, 5-10 Holocaust films.
Yeah, the Holocaust of seasons. Winter.
Eventually, we run out of Holocaust films. Or at least, the ones that you need to see or revisit. So then we say, now it's war season. We've expanded this. This is now an entire season devoted to World War II in cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Now we could do this for the rest of our lives. We wouldn't run out of movies.
There are a lot of World War II
and we do this every year.
Films.
I take it very seriously. I put together a sort of dossier, not a blank check JJ style dossier, but a one sheet that I make our list on every year.
Right.
And
is it always fresh films every year?
No, there's stuff that's been on there forever.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff that it's like, we just watched Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Great movie.
And I was like, this has been on the list since before I started printing them.
Oh,
like
but-
I have handwritten pieces of paper.
I mean, are they all blind watches, or are you throwing in rewatches?
Oh no, we
in there
always
as well?
rewatches are a very important part of it, such as The Way Back. On his birthday was a few weeks ago. I said, it's your night of your birthday. Anything you want? What do you want to do? And she goes, Schindler's List. I was like, this is fucking great. So we watched it. We watched half of it. The next night, we finish it. And I was like, the finishing night was like an hour.
Yeah.
We watched like 2 hours. And I was like, what do you want to do? It's still a little bit early. And she goes, feels like we should watch an episode of The Pacific. I was like, this is unbelievable. Her commitment to it exceeds mine by 1,000%.
Yeah.
But Anna loves nothing more than World War II.
I was about to say, it's very much World War II that.
Yeah. Like the thing I always say is, this was on like an SNL where I think it was like a Five Timers Club sketch where Tom Hanks was talking to Andy Samberg. He goes, you know what I love, Andy? And he just goes, World War II.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is on to a T. And we curate war seat. Like I start working on the list like in the summer, where I'm like, oh, there's this new movie, or whatever. I'll be like at a film festival and I send her a picture of some poster for a Norwegian film with a swastika on it, and I'm like adding it to the list. Like it's got to go on the list. And we end up putting together like a really diverse collection of war films that tell the totality of the story from the Eastern Front, South America, after the war, and like what did we just watch? Music Box, the Costa Gavras film.
Oh, sure.
Which I'd never heard of. And I think either came up when I was reading something about it was just an accident, or it came up on like a Cinematrix with what's her name? Jessica Lange. And I was like, what is this movie? It has a swastika on the poster.
I also feel like Wesley Morris brought this up
maybe
in a
that's
recent
right.
Big Picture
maybe that is
as
where I
like,
got
this is the exact kind of movie we don't make anymore that used to be important to the ecosystem.
It came into my brain somewhere. Now, obviously, it wasn't on my printed list because I printed that list in January.
Yeah.
So we were able to squeeze it in anyway.
Is that her dad is a Nazi?
Yeah. Or is being accused of having been a commandant.
Yeah.
Have you seen number 24?
Wait, is that the
It's the Norwegian.
Yeah, we watched that last year. That was what made you watch that?
I don't know, actually. Other than I was looking for something to watch on a flight.
It's about the formula for heavy water? Is that right?
This is about a guy who was part of the resistance in Norway.
Oh, the resistance fighter. Oh, yeah. And then it's like kind
During
of a
World War
docudrama,
II.
and there's like scenes of him talking to students in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cutting between that and his like various exploits.
Yeah, that's right. Something I find very interesting and unheralded in like the endless morass of Netflix slop is that every year Netflix will drop like 10 international films about World War II that I've never heard of, and you watch them and they're all like solid. And
it was great.
You look it up and it's like, oh, this was this country's submission for the Oscars. Didn't get released. Never heard of it. David Sims never saw it.
Basically, All Quiet on the Western Front was the only one of those that punched
but
through.
they put up.
But they have like 10 of those a year.
10.
Yeah.
There's one, Will. There's one called like Blood and Gold. There's one, The Photographer of Mauthausen, that was like a Spanish concentration camp movie. Occasionally, we still get a good new Holocaust. Did you see, David? It was a TIFF movie, Irina's Vow.
No, I've at least heard of that one. But that's
highlight of this year's war season.
Fair enough.
Total like classy surprise of like really good movie.
Have you seen? I wrote a piece about Stellan Skarsgård, and I've never seen this film. Good Evening, Mr. Wallenberg.
No,
this was a Stellan Skarsgård breakout movie. It's a big movie in Sweden where he plays a famous Swedish figure, a diplomat who was instrumental in saving the lives of thousands of Hungarian Jews during the Holocaust. Never seen it, but it looks like the kind of sort of handsome Oscar submission that was big in its country, but not really big outside of it.
So many of those, even still.
Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, but this is a very important part of our viewing. So we were I think we initially watched this movie as part of that, and as just Peter Weir fans. But man, we love war season. It's almost over, but we're in it. We're still in it.
Anything else? Any other watches
highlights
this year?
I mean, yeah, we've been doing it for months at this point.
Are we almost pulling out of war season?
Yeah, it's getting a little too warm.
Yeah,
but then when it gets warm, you can watch things that take place in the jungle. You can kind of migrate to the Pacific.
Do you pin the end of war season on a calendar date, or is
Memorial Day?
Okay.
We can drag it out to Memorial Day, but not consistently.
Yeah.
We can I think one year we saved Midway for Memorial Day.
You were so excited when Midway was coming out.
Yeah, I was so excited that I waited like 2 years to watch it at home on Memorial Day.
But I feel like in those 2 years, you were constantly texting. That movie is, I guarantee you, an 8 out of 10 at the worst.
And it was. was a very, very solid movie.
Is that the one with Glenn Powell, or was that a different
that's
one?
Devotion.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. That's right.
Which stars Glenn
Midway
Powell
was
and Weir. The second actor
Josh
above
Lucas?
the title has disappeared.
Oh, who was that?
Jonathan Majors.
Oh dear.
Midway was Patrick Wilson.
Patrick
and
Wilson.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
And
Dennis Quaid.
it is a Roland Emmerich.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Emmerich
Dennis
film.
Quaid is he MacArthur in it?
I couldn't tell you.
He's high up. He's brass.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, we watch hundreds of war films.
Yeah.
And I can throw this on and be like, well, of course, this guy was rounded up in the communist purge and he's being accused of being an enemy of the state. And we're off to the races. And it's kind of fun to continue the conversation of expanding the conflict of the war and never needing to like pause or take a break from it, because you can kind of just jump into whatever and know. Because the thing that you're missing in this movie that is like really what makes good war films great is that great war films can distill the essence of the entire war into a single moment.
Yes, that's a good call.
Often either the beginning or the end of the movie.
Right.
Schindler's List does this, the opening Saving Private Ryan. It distills the essence of World War II into a scene.
Right.
And this
Two
movie does,
soldiers meeting in the middle of the battlefield from opposite sides, both tending to a war horse.
and this movie, well, sure. And this movie doesn't have that scene. It doesn't have the moment
That is a good call.
that stands in for like, and that is what it was about in Russia during World War II.
I also think everyone in this movie you meet is so thoroughly broken already that I just me, with this not being my chosen genre, I think I usually need the emotional in of here's what they lost. And what is hanging over the movie emotionally is them trying to get something back.
Do you like old, because to us, like the history of, I mean, obviously they started making World War II films like before the war,
During
almost.
World War II.
Yeah, like, but the kind of first wave, the Men on a Mission movies, which are just pure action films.
Yeah.
Do you like those movies
I
at
maybe
all?
prefer that.
I feel like this is something I can't picture you watching because you're not like a dad in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched them. That is not my favorite kind of war movie, because those do tend to have a little bit of a formula to them, but they're fun.
Like, I mean, do you, like,
this is the tough guy. This
Yeah.
guy's kind of the smart
do
guy.
you
This
like
guy's
Dirty
kind of the
Dozen,
funny
Great
guy.
Escape? Do you like
I like
like
those
them.
two movies. Yeah. But I'm like,
Heroes of Telemark and Force 10
I'm
and
like doing
Neverone?
in my head, like, what's my favorite war movie? And I'm like, oh, my answer is like Best Years of Their Lives, which is a post-war
a
movie.
war romance is a very important part of war
Best
season.
Years of
Right.
Their Lives is an incredible war.
An incredible film. But I think like,
But it is obviously.
and Gallipoli like truly has shot way up on my all-time
Gallipoli's a
war
great movie.
list.
I
Just
assume
watching
you've
it
seen
for the
Gallipoli.
first time.
That's World War One.
Saw it
but-
at Walter Reed with Peter Weir in attendance.
Yeah.
We just another war season one this year was the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. Speaking of Glenn Powell,
That is a movie that is weird.
you know, it got brought up.
Yeah.
You're
as-
like,
as-
oh, this will be really chill, and it's like, no, it's about her falling in love with a Nazi.
yeah, but it's
like,
important.
it's actually quite fraught.
But it's important to have for us, like, you don't want to watch this movie every night. You don't want to watch like an action
Sure.
oriented
You
movie
need to
every
mix
night.
it up.
So to
Yeah.
have the occasional wartime romance, which are often, you know, quite nice,
Mhm.
and then like, did you see Beasts of War, the like Australian shark World War II POW movie?
No.
It just came out. It's like a
Okay.
Shudder original that came out. It was maybe at festivals last year. It's a true story. It's like basically a bunch of Australian fighter pilots were just on a plane, and then it goes down roughly 15 minutes
This
into the
doesn't
movie.
even have a Wikipedia page.
No, it doesn't. I was surprised. It didn't have a Wikipedia page. It's like a
Wow.
legit movie.
Wow.
Sure.
And you know, it's like this, but on a boat, but with a shark.
I would say this looks a little less Tony than
No. So that was like
Okay.
that was like a Saturday night we're tired war movie.
Sure.
Sometimes you need something that's like horror or action.
Yeah, no.
See,
of
this
course.
is why you're like, when you come on the podcast, we want to make it count. And if the schedule
hope it
lines
counts.
up where we can have you a couple times in 1 year, then that's it. But I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, thank God we got you on this one.
War
Yeah,
season.
fucking way back episode, which is just us otherwise being like, yeah, I mean, this is well made and handsome. It didn't really resonate.
It
with
is,
us
but
that
it seems
strongly.
cold.
You know what's a stink.
Sometimes hot.
But
hot.
can we get Bombas to sponsor this one? This feels like one to
Oh,
really
yeah.
target.
Oh my God,
get in
you're
the
so
socks.
right.
Bombas
Griffin.
gave up on us.
Really?
Come back, Bombas.
They
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
What if for every one ad read we do for them, we do an ad read for a shittier business?
They should have done a promo for this. You know, it's a bad
We
World
gotta
War
rope
II
them back,
movie
man.
that
Yeah.
you guys might do someday.
What?
Although it seems not likely with the way voting goes. Is Miracle at St. Anna. Like a Spike Lee movie no one has seen.
I've never seen it.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, I mean, Defy Bloods is like one of my 10 favorite war movies.
Well, Vietnam's a whole other thing.
Right.
No, but that movie is a failure. Having seen it, and I like Spike Lee, but it's one of his most like misshapen. It has interesting stuff. Like, it's not like without merit, but it's odd.
It is nearly without merit.
Yeah, it's not very good. I can't really defend.
We were motivated to watch it years ago.
Well, because you're like, how could this be that bad? Like, this must be interesting.
It must be something.
Yeah.
Stuff like that can still get made, at least at this time. And as a real,
but even that's 2000.
That's him cashing his inside man check.
And that's
it's
the inside man check?
It's like 9 or 10. But
like the difference between.
That's when he got in a fight with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he's like, I'll show you, Clint.
Sure, but that's like the shift of like he's one of the last guys who like Inside Man is enough of a blank check to get to make that, and B, they let you make that under any conditions.
Do you like the 2 Clint movies he's making that in response to?
I really disliked Flags of Our Fathers.
It's a good movie.
And Iwo Jima, I like respected.
Iwo Jima is an incredible.
Would it surprise?
I get this is good. I don't enjoy watching.
Would it surprise you for me to say that I really like Flags of Our Fathers and think Iwo Jima is a very bad movie?
Wow.
It would surprise me a little bit, just the second part. Flags of Our Fathers is a great movie.
Letters from Iwo Jima.
Yes.
Is, I think, the worst looking movie I have ever seen that is made with any budget.
Well, it did not have much of a budget.
No, but I'm talking like, yes, you could show me a $2,000 movie that looks worse. Whatever digital technology was being put in front of him at that time, it is the worst looking movie that I think has been like made by a major Hollywood studio with a major director.
Comes in late, you're like, is Alex out of hot takes? And he's like,
but
more.
It's strange because it was made concurrently with a movie that looks entirely different.
See, I remember
I think you're being a little hard on Iwo
I remember feeling that way about Flags of Our Fathers. I remember seeing that in theaters and being like, I hate the way this fucking looks. This movie is like so blunt, over the head, restating every thematic point 6 times. I thought like across the board, most of the cast is bad. Like, I felt like it was basically wall-to-wall bad performances.
It has a little bit of the Clint cast faces problem where it's like, not all the actors are that good.
And the script is so unsubtle that it would need massaging to bring the performances down to something specific. And instead you got Ryan Philippe like kind of walking through it.
They kind of got railroaded though, those guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
Those guys got
railroaded a little bit. So
very solid film.
Yeah. But I have it mid to low on my Clint list.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just realizing in this conversation that every war film that I would say I love is a movie that basically by narrative design obfuscates the war to some degree.
But you like Vietnam movies.
Well, do I like all Vietnam movies?
Yes, all of them.
Yes, you're right. I like all Vietnam movies. We all know that my favorite movie of all time is All Is Lost, and I like all Vietnam films.
It's too bad you'll never cover any of them on this show. Thanks to people voting down.
I mean, if obviously Fall River Stone won, we would be covering half of all Vietnam movies. I don't love Vietnam movies. That is one of my less favorite war genres, but there are some great Vietnam movies.
I think it is likely we cover Spike eventually. I'm trying to think who else has a Vietnam movie we haven't covered. I mean, do we do
Forrest Gump, the great
We
Vietnam
could do Michael Cimino.
Do Forrest Gump again.
We're not doing Forrest Gump again.
We could do Gump. No, but his movies as a director.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The interesting thing about a lot of these World War II tropes is like they stopped making World War II movies during Vietnam largely because the idea of making like celebratory
people weren't in the mood.
Men on a Mission movies went away.
Coppola.
I've heard of him.
De Palma is in
De Palma. Yeah.
Yeah.
But De Palma did me. He's another one of these guys like Weir that the ignominious end of his distribution and his opportunities is just such a bummer.
Yeah, De Palma's tough. I mean, supposedly he's working on something now. Would it be good? I don't know.
Like, how can he go from
it's hard
Mission Impossible to like not being able to get a movie made?
It's hard to end a series on the ward. You know, it is a thing we try to avoid.
I think this is as good of a final film as my vague recollection of every final film you've covered. If you're saying definitively final ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and like a guy sort of choosing to call it.
No one's going to stand up for this movie and be like, actually, that's Peter Weir's secret masterpiece. But, you know, the basement on final movies in the miniseries is quite low.
Operation Dumbo Drop. I'm looking through a list of Vietnam
We
films.
do need to cover that. And who directed that? Was that Orson Welles?
It was Orson Welles. No, of course it was Simon Windsor.
Oh, yeah.
And Operation Dumbo Drop?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
This is the best thing
They
about
gotta drop an elephant.
Ben's choice that Ben hasn't seen is like that's a miniseries, perhaps like a Patreon.
We have, Griff, I will remind you.
This came up when it was revealed Ben had never seen Bushwhacked.
We've covered a Windsor.
We've covered one Windsor.
Yes. Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles.
He did go to Los Angeles.
When there's a movie that is
and we might cover the Phantom one day.
So tailor-made for Ben, and he just for some reason missed it.
It is bizarre
like,
that
Ben,
he didn't see Bushwhack.
How'd you miss Dumbo Drop?
Dumbo Drop is good.
I don't know.
Do you want to know what Dumbo Drop is? The big three.
I think we're gonna play the box.
Danny Glover, Dennis Leary, and Ray Liotta, and their job is to get an elephant across.
I've never seen it. Don't look at me.
I have seen it.
It's kind of the way back with an elephant. They're like walking the elephant by foot, and then at a certain point, they're like, "This is taking too long. We got to get the elephant in a plane and then drop the elephant with a parachute into its final landing spot."
Yeah, it's where is it?
It's probably one of the 5 best movies ever made.
A recent Vietnam movie that I didn't see was the Farrelly one, The Greatest Beer Run.
Oh, sure. I'm surprised you haven't seen that.
Don't be.
Really?
Yeah, don't be surprised I haven't seen that. Why would I see that?
You like war movies. You watch them endlessly.
If that movie was about world,
you just said that you watch war movies all the fucking time.
No, World War II movies. I am
Fair
not
enough.
encyclopedic
You don't
about
fuck
Vietnam.
with Vietnam.
I
Okay.
do, but we certainly don't favor those movies. There's way less variety in the.
I agree.
There's so much less variety.
They tend to be 1 to 2 kinds of movies.
Yes. And the sort of, but similar to World War II, I think one of the better genres of the Vietnam movie is the soldier after Vietnam, which is what you like, Griffin.
But what I'm realizing, yes, it's exactly what you're saying. I'm looking through the Vietnam list here, and it is like, I like PTSD movies because that's an emotional story in the wake of war.
Yeah.
Even if it starts with active warfare.
What's my favorite war movie? I don't know. I love war movies so much. I'm like Alex. And I like any movie that makes me Google shit.
Yeah.
Now, do I need every movie to be like that? No. But the way back where I can be like, and how many people do live in Mongolia? Like, I love
But see,
to
this
do
is
that.
that for me gets into what Ben would call a homework movie.
But this is the interesting thing that we love splitting the difference on of curating war season is like, there's movies that, like Nuremberg, that you're like, this is 1-to-1. This is a Hollywoodized version of everyone in this movie is a real person. And then there's stuff like this where it's like, this is sort of based on a thing. And what really went out of vogue kind of post Saving Private Ryan for a long time, even though that movie is fictional, was making these big ticket war movies of like, no, we just made this up.
Yeah.
It became much more popular in the 2000s to really like be like, this is a true story.
Based on true
We're
story.
adapting a memoir. We're adapting something true. Whereas prior to that, Schindler's List was almost like an outlier.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these movies, even music boxers I just watched, are like, well, it's kind of inspired by this thing, but like mostly we're just trying to tell a good story.
Did
and then
Schindler
it becomes
fully
like
turn it because it was like the
there
profundity.
just weren't World War II movies before that for a long time at this level. They were being made in other countries, and there's a lot of good foreign war films in the 80s, and France was making a lot, and they sort of tried to grapple with their horrible history. America Vietnam was in vogue for over a decade, kind of until Schindler's List made World War II big business.
Well, and it's also the generation starts to shift, and like boomers want to watch World War II movies because their parents served in World War. Like it's just that's how one day maybe we'll get more.
We're probably like 10 years away.
movies,
More
I
films about the
guess.
Clone Wars now that cyclically it's kind of coming back.
Well, it's like anything. The distance between these things started getting really short.
For that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a joke. That's a great statement.
Okay,
very,
thank you.
very astute.
That's what I wanted. I wanted profundity points.
But to us, we do love David's Googling of like, what is this movie based on?
We do love David's Googling.
Thank you.
Because we enjoy like kind of comparing like, oh, so I looked it up. It turns out like Charlotte Gray, the Cate Blanchett movie. Like,
Julian Armstrong movie.
Where it's like, this is a true story.
Mhm.
This is like some remarkable figure who needs a biopic versus the ones that tend to be like, this is a kind of interpretation of life during wartime in fill in the blank.
And just to be clear, Charlotte Gray is not about a real person, but it is based on a novel.
Wait, what's the other one? There's another one with a nearly identical title.
Veronica Guerin?
Yes.
That's the IRA movie.
Yeah.
Right. But
she's a journalist.
I'm getting those
Yeah.
confused.
Okay.
What am I talking about? My favorite war movie of all time is Small Soldiers.
Yes, of course. They went
And
to
that's
war.
based on a true story.
The
right?
war of that kid's house.
Alan Abernathy.
January 21st, 2011.
These are going to be rough. This is a terrible test.
That's why it's a fun box office game. The way back is
January
opening.
2011. Okay.
Number one.
Number 15 on 678 screens to $1.2 million. And it's going to leg that out to $2.7 million. It's not a great showing.
That's a third of a Black Hat?
It's about a third of a Black Hat.
What is a Black Hat 6.5?
Yeah. It makes 24.1 worldwide, so it did a little better overseas. Unsurprisingly, I guess.
Civilized countries, still
but
appreciate it.
number one at the box office is kind of like...
Was that its widest? Did it go beyond 600?
That's a good
Is
question.
it like immediately down to
like, because I feel like they're like, okay, we'll expand it. Like, and then it's like, no, we won't be expanding it. That was its widest. 678 screens, theaters. So number one is, I would say, a film that's like kind of tonally very similar to The Way Back, and has the same kind of energy.
He's joking.
I'm joking. It's a comedy.
Okay.
It's opening number one to $19.6 million. Right at the start of January, America's like, we want to laugh.
We're ready to laugh.
And we want to see some romance.
It's not a Freeburg Seltzer.
No.
It's a romantic
much
comedy?
classier than that. It's a romantic comedy from a very well-known director.
Is it a Gary Marshall?
No. But, it's sort of like an old hand.
It's an old...
Not quite as old as Gary Marshall. But he only had one more film left in him after this one.
He only had one more film left in him after this film. Tell me about the stars of this picture. Well, first, who's the distributor of this fine film?
Well, of course, it's from the great people at Paramount Pictures.
Okay.
When was this director most active?
The 80s.
An 80s director.
An 80s director who's only got one left in him. And tell me about the stars of the picture.
Well, there's a lovely lady and a handsome young man. Now, the lovely lady is about to win an Academy Award.
Okay, interesting.
This threatened to be her Norbit.
This is No Strings Attached.
That's right. With Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher and Ivan Reitman, of course, would then make draft day and be so exhausted by the ego of one of the stars on that movie that he retired.
That was his way back.
That was his way back.
He was like, I can't deal with Griffin Newman asking me endless intern questions.
Yeah.
Saying, we have to stop for 5 minutes so I connect to the office.
I had to take a long walk down that hallway and try not to spill coffee, and I failed.
Congratulations on being able to differentiate No Strings Attached and whatever the other one is.
Friends with Benefits. That's a summer
Benefits
release.
is the other one, but the reason is everyone sort of remembers. Everyone just thinks they're both called No Strings Attached.
Right.
No Strings Attached is the title people
It's a
remember
better title.
It's also the better of those two films.
It's a good movie.
Remind people, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Oh, wait, and I have presents to give Griffin before we wrap up.
Oh, no, don't
worry about it.
Think I've forgotten about that.
Number two at the box office is a film that came out a week earlier, so truly at the top of January. Opened fairly well. It's an action superhero movie. Did okay.
What is the origin of the superhero?
Is it the Green Hornet?
It's the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That was a January release.
Like a January 2nd release.
That was right. That was a big thing. Was it had a summer release date? Then they announced they were pushing it back 6 months in order to put 3D, post-conversion 3D on it and release it in January. And people were like, "Oh, fucking dumping ground! Is this thing like?"
And it did pretty good.
And then it did well.
Yeah. Made $100 million.
Would that be? Wait, you didn't do Pulp Heroes yet?
No.
Would that count? But that's like TV,
Yeah.
Pulp Heroes is like fucking radio and comic books. It's Shadow, Phantom, Dick Tracy.
I put Green Hornet in.
Well, also, we all remember
I
who
don't-
directed Green Hornet.
Michel
Gondry.
Gondry.
Right.
We're not doing his ass anytime
Speaking
soon.
of being
Do you
broken,
want to do microbe and gasoline?
the we in the eye. Come on, David. The pod and the cast.
Mood Indigo? These are heater episodes.
I just want more of the energy of Ben getting to do the 90s comics, and I listened to the Mortal Kombat episode. That's just such a...
We're offering a lot of that energy.
Yeah,
I would not
absolutely.
worry.
Yeah.
Number three at the box office is another comedy.
Okay.
Star-driven from a big director.
Is it a holdover from December? Or
No.
it's a January release.
It came out, I guess, a week before.
Okay. It opened against Green Hornet.
Yeah.
It's a big director.
Yeah.
It's a January comedy.
Yeah.
Distributor?
Universal.
It's Universal.
And this director usually works with Universal.
This director usually works
I
with
would say
Universal.
so, especially at this time.
I would say so, especially at this time.
Yeah, I think his production company was sort of
Comedy director? Or jack of all
Universal?
trades?
No, well, he made a lot of comedies, but he's at this point a prestige director.
I know, say no more. It's Ron Howard's The Dilemma.
That's right.
Which was a bit of a flop.
It was a bit of a flop. It's a bad movie.
But Kevin James had hit so hard
Yep.
with Paul Blart in January that they were trying to make him the king of January.
Yeah.
And this was a hot project. The cast of that movie is so bizarrely stacked.
James Uwary.
You've got Jennifer Connelly, Winona Ryder, Channing Tatum, Queen Latifah.
Mhm.
How could it be bad?
I think it's definitely bad.
As Sean Fennessy would say, it is, in fact, quite poor.
Quite poor. And just one of those things where the poster is just like Kevin James.
Is there a guy on the poster? Does Vaughn have his hand over his head?
Both of his hands.
Both of his hands over.
He's like, I don't know what to do about this.
This is one of those
dilemma brewing
that had an ad above my subway stop.
Yeah.
Like that they just left up.
But it's like Kevin James is just smiling like an idiot.
Yes.
Like Kevin James looks like he was born 2 seconds ago.
I mean, do you guys remember what the premise of
Vince
this
Vaughn
movie
is like, do I have to tell? Yes, he sees his wife kissing.
He sees
Vince Vaughn
his friend's wife.
Yes, Kevin James's wife kissing somebody.
The entire
Channing
movie.
Tatum?
Yes.
Yeah, and like, do I tell him or not?
Kevin James is married to Winona Ryder.
Right.
Winona Ryder is having an affair with Channing Tatum. Vince Vaughn witnesses it, and the whole movie is him being like, do I tell my friend or not?
Oh my God.
It's going to make him feel bad. And it's one of those things where you're just like, fucking tell him. This isn't an interesting conflict.
Stop talking about it.
I want to.
Either way, go away.
Which do you think is the better act as a friend? Decide that and stick to it.
Quite a dilemma.
No, it's a dilemma.
You'd never do Howard.
It's so long.
It's so long.
Yeah. Let me pause just to keep the games. Let me pause the game so people have a reason to keep listening.
Yeah.
So I am leaving these. This is going to be like a reverse, a memento kind of story. I'm going to leave these Blu-rays for Tracy Letts.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right.
Well, we're recording with Tracy.
So it will have
later
happened.
This will have paid off, hopefully. I'm leaving 3 sealed Blu-rays, 2 of which are reference quality of my own films, to contribute to, less because I think he'll watch these, but more like it's almost a badge of honor to have these in the archive.
So this is Vinegar Syndrome, Her Smell, and
Vinegar
Pavements.
Syndrome, Pavements. And then the British Eureka Masters of Cinema, listen up, Philip, which is the only Blu-ray release of it ever.
And that's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack?
Oh, yeah. Dual format edition. Contains both Blu-ray and DVD editions. And because of rights issues, this can't be issued on Blu-ray in America.
You've been trying to work this out, right?
Yeah.
Can't be done.
Do you know what Ben has purchased for Tracy Letts?
No,
in the
I'd
disc
like to know.
challenge? I think Ben might go 3 for 3.
Well, I'm definitely going 3 for 3. I'm going to write him a nice note too, and I'm going to toss this goodie bag to Griffin.
Great.
And this is, you know what half of this is, but it'll still be fun.
So I bought for Tracy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective,
Steelbook.
Oh yeah,
4K Steelbook.
A recent release.
Spawn,
Nice.
Arrow 4K.
Sort of, then that's been like sharing his culture with Tracy.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
right.
And then of course, naturally, Trash Humpers.
Nice.
Which maybe Tracy has that one.
It's the one I think
Feels like he would have
notorious.
open contempt for the work of Harmony Korine.
I might imagine it's not his cup of
When
tea,
you
but
give him
we'll see.
Spawn, make sure he's looking at
I
future
will.
Spawn.
Right. I'll have it.
But yeah,
yes.
this
They'll
will
add it to the display.
This will
the chain
hopefully
display.
not have paid off in like shame and confusion.
Yeah.
This bit that I'm now contributing to, because one of my favorite razzings of Sean is in the like YouTube clip of Big Picture when Tracy was like, "What's the name of the director with 3 names?" And Sean, without pausing, just goes, "Paul Thomas Anderson." And he goes, "No, the one who's on your show."
David, do you think you're going to have a chance to buy discs?
That's my plan.
Okay.
Why do you want to just leave it to Ben? I don't know. I'm trying to sneak.
No.
I was trying to go
hesitant.
yesterday, but then I realized they're closed on Mondays.
Where would
It's
you
very
go?
annoying.
Oh,
Night
yeah.
Owl.
Oh,
in
right.
Williamsburg.
I see. But yes, even to contribute to the archive of his would be an
Same.
honor.
I'm still getting
It's like
my
getting to
picks
lay a
out.
commemorative brick.
I mean,
on a
I can
wall.
also
That
dig
is
around in my collection because I have a fair amount of dupes, but I'm like, I
I
probably
thought
should
about that. I think it has to be
Truly,
sealed. I think it
if-
has to be sealed.
If you send me a list on my way home today, I can stop by.
But I was hoping
No,
to
I
go
think-
and vibe.
I think you gotta go and vibe.
This is like one of my all-time worst bits, which is the bit that king-size candy is an offering to the king from his subjects. Which that's kind of what we're doing here. This offering to the true emperor physical media.
Yes.
And you make an offering, you can't give him your used collection.
Just to finish.
Yeah.
Just to finish.
And then Griffin can open this.
I mean, to
goodie
be
bag.
fair, Tracy shows up with like his dupes and throws them at Chris.
It's okay
Ryan.
for him to do it.
Of course, he's the
And I think most
You're
of
not
his
giving
dupes
him
are
dupes.
sealed.
Yeah, these are sealed.
I imagine him.
These are offerings from other subjects that he has no need for. The king can throw his scraps.
Speaking
to his
of the
subjects.
king,
Well-
number 4 at the box office wins Best Picture in a couple months.
The King's Speech.
That's right. And number 5
What's it up
is
to at this point?
57.
And it's going to make it to 130?
135.
Has Epstein gotten his DVD of it yet? By
Not
this
sure.
point, Dewey, when was that email sent?
Number 5 at the box office.
I think he has not gotten it yet. It is crazy to consider that it's still in January used to have a thing that was 80 million away from its eventual box office total because
that's
of a
fair.
Best
I thought
Picture
you were
bump.
going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, and I was about to pick up my stop sign. Number
The New York financier.
Yeah, number 5 at the box office is a film from Alex's favorite directors, who he said such lovely things about on this episode. Their biggest hit ever. Also a 2010 Best Picture nominee.
There?
True Grit.
I gave it away.
Okay.
I think maybe my favorite Coen Brothers movie.
Incredible movie.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
You've also got Black Swan, as mentioned. So Natalie's got 2.
I'm excited for people to respond to that take of mine. I love
The True Grit is your favorite?
No, just the earlier thoughts.
Yeah,
that,
they'll be really, really even-handed.
just that I think Fargo is like good.
Number 7.
What is Black Swan up to at this point?
Black Swan's up to 83, so it's also got some run to go.
Yeah.
The little Fockers are on their way out of the theaters.
Those troublemakers.
So much comedy.
Number 9.
So much comedy.
So much
So much
fucking comedy.
comedy. So
Although
much comedy.
undeniably not Hollywood's best comedies.
Well,
like
none of this
when
is-
you're like, I wonder why Hollywood stopped making comedies, and you're like, The Dilemma, Little Fockers, like
Okay,
oh
Little
boy.
Fockers makes it to a soft 100 domestic.
Yeah.
I think-
No. Little Fockers made 148 domestic.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Friends with Benefits makes it to like 80 or 90 domestic.
Are you talking about No Strings Attached?
Fuck yes, I gotta write the first.
That
one.
made it to 70 domestic.
Okay.
150 worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah, so like okay.
Yeah.
And The Dilemma, which
Dilemma
obviously
was a
a
flop.
bomb,
Yeah.
made 48 domestic.
Yeah.
So that's flop territory, but
Weir
only
would have
because
killed
of the
for
big,
that
Yes.
on this film.
Well, yeah.
Also, like most studio comedies would kill for 48 domestic now, and that was seen as a disaster.
I mean, it was. I'm sure.
I can't believe how
everyone
little
was well
money
paid,
the way
yes.
back made.
It's crazy.
Number 8 is The Fighter. I can. Nobody wanted to see that shit. And I liked it. Number 8's The Fighter. Number 9 is Yogi Bear.
What's Fighter at?
Fighter is at 72.
And it
Yogi
makes it to
Bear is at
110?
88. Fighter
Or
makes
does
it
Fighter
to
does Fighter stay at 90 something?
93.
93.
And number 10 is, of course, the comedy of 2010. Number 1, Tron Legacy. I love that movie.
Digital Jazz Man.
That's right. You
when
also
are you going
have,
to splice in the rankings?
if
you do
good
them?
point.
Well, I'll tell you when we're gonna splice them in. Right here.
Here are our rankings for Peter Weir.
Okay, this is the pickup on our ranking now that I've rewatched Master and Commander, and we have recorded all the episodes. David,
Yes.
do you want to go first?
This is a very hard one. I don't know if you found that, Griffin.
Incredibly difficult.
Because it's a lot of great movies, a lot of movies I admire for different reasons.
and like centimeters in between these positions.
Yeah,
for me.
100%.
It's basically interchangeable. Did you include the plumber or not?
I included The Plumber.
Okay.
So my list
Mhm.
is, and it's tough.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, a lot of these are fun. Number 1, Master and Commander. That was not tough.
Sure.
Number
you're
two-
going from top down.
1 to top, 1 to
Okay.
down. Number 2, The Truman Show. Number 3, Witness. Number 4, Picnic and Hanging Rock.
Mhm.
Those 3 are all movies I just think are sublime,
Mhm.
and they all felt a little interchangeable to me.
Mhm.
Number 5, Fearless. Number 6, Green Card.
Mm.
Number 7, Mosquito Coast. Number 8, Last Wave. Number 9, Year of Living Dangerously. Number 10, Gallipoli.
Mhm.
Those are all movies I think are pretty interesting and tremendous.
Yeah,
I'm sure your list is different from mine.
it is. Although, you know what's interesting? I mean, Master and Commander is unsurprisingly lower for me, but then our rankings are the same for the next couple.
That's
So
interesting. Okay.
I have Truman at number 1, Witness at number 2, Picnic at Hanging Rock number 3.
Uh-huh.
Agree with that block you just established. Then I have Fearless at number 4, which is the same as you minus Master and Commander at the top of that list, right?
And where do you have Master and Commander?
I have Gallipoli at 5,
Jesus, this is so fucked up and insane.
Mosquito Coast at 6, Master and Commander at 7, Last Wave at 8, Green Card at 9, You're Living Dangerously at 10.
Mm-hmm. And then I have my last 4 are Way Back at 11, Plumber at 12,
Mhm.
Cars That Ate Paris at 13, Dead Poet Society at 14.
Wild. So yeah, I have a totally different order there. I have Cars at 11, Cars 2 at 12.
Cars
No, I have Cars That Ate Paris at 11, Dead Poets at 12, Plumber at 13, Way Back at 14.
Fair
I
enough.
would say the top 10 are all degrees of excellent for me. And Cars That Ate Paris, Dead Poets, and Plumber are all very good. And the only movie of his I don't enjoy is The Way Back, but I also
Not
don't
that
think it's a
enjoyable.
bad film. I don't think he ever made a bad movie.
No, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Now we cut you back to that episode. Wow!
Oh my God, I can't believe it. The Way Back, number 1
Holy
for everybody.
shit. Across the board, we really changed our mind.
Debuting in theaters this week is also The Company Men,
Mhm.
the John Wells film.
A film I hate.
What if the bosses had a tough
It's
time?
actually one of my least favorite movies.
I don't remember what that is.
It's about a bunch of
middle managers or whatever.
C-suite
Yeah, no, maybe
executives
they're executives.
and how much
right.
they struggle in the recession. These guys used to have
Who's in? Who are the executives? Feels like
Costner, Affleck, Chris Cooper,
Is
Tommy Lee Jones.
These are some guys.
I
Maria
know.
Bello.
This sounds watchable.
Yes.
This sounds very watchable.
Kevin Costner is non-executive.
This sounds very watchable.
Costner is a Joe the plumber who hates Ben Affleck, his brother-in-law, who's never worked a real day in his life. These guys used to play golf.
He's got a point.
Yeah. It's a terrible movie. It's written, directed by John Wells.
That's right.
Yeah.
I believe.
ER's
Is
John
August
Wells.
Osage Counter later?
Yes.
Like, is that, John?
And then he gets burnt.
Well, you know who can answer that question for you?
Who?
Tracy Letts.
Good.
And now, of course, he's back on The Pit, right?
Yeah. Thank God he's off our movie screens.
Yeah, making good TV for us again.
He was like my least favorite middlebrow director.
It's interesting because I also actually associate him with ER's decline, and then I associate him with The West Wing's decline because he took over The West Wing. But like, he obviously was important at ER, but he becomes too powerful later in ER, and he starts to infect it with too many special episodes. It's fine.
It's fine.
But The Pit's good, and he's great. I guess he's my best friend. So next week on the podcast, of course, we're going to talk about Disclosure Day. Because that's going to be pretty new. Yeah, brand new, I think. That's coming out on the 12th. But then, Griffin, what are we going to do?
Then we're going under the sea.
Yes, we will be looking for someone. Who could we be looking for?
We'll be trying to find Nemo, an episode we offered to ARP.
I was offered Finding Nemo.
You said something to the effect of, I don't really have any relationship to Finding Nemo. I've seen it twice. Finding Dory, I've obviously seen 25 times.
Astrid's preference is Finding Dory.
Your daughter.
By a wide margin.
Also my daughter's
Why
preference.
is that?
Because Dory's so cute at the beginning with her big old
Little
eyes.
I guess so, but I mean, the whole most of it's in an aquarium.
My daughter also, but my daughter
Sigourney
loves the
Weaver.
aquarium because she
I do
loves
too.
the septopus.
Yeah, well, I like
Hey.
the beluga whale with the vibrating
Who's
cranium.
going,
Alien. It's got good characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine film.
got good characters.
I just don't
damn
know.
it.
I just don't know why she gravitates towards that.
I think just because it's the classic kid thing of like, well, Dory's the best character anyway, so like
Right.
a movie with more Dory
Yeah.
is just like more candy for me.
It's
I was
Frozen
flattered
with
by the
pants. You
offer. I
solved
just,
my only issue.
I just didn't think I would have that much insight.
It's a neurotic father.
Alex neurotic? He's not neurotic. This
No,
guy's
but no,
not even killed.
This was the best episode we could have gotten you on. But yes, in 2 weeks we start our series.
Talking the Walk, a secret side Talking the
You
Walk.
did say this. This is kind of a talking the walk. We'll replay this.
Oh, so you're doing Andrew Stanton.
We're doing Andrew Stanton.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut off your actual promotion so people can be excited.
His first 3 films are the cleanest distillation of a blank check arc we
It's
will
so
ever
true.
cover.
Finding Nemo, big hit. So he makes his sort of more ambitious animated film WALL-E, and then uses that to make something crazy. The action film people have tried to make for 100 years in Hollywood, with the biggest scale imaginable.
Does it have a cool title from the books? 'Cause it sounds good
Absolutely.
so far.
A title
John
only,
Carter. End of title.
a title
Now,
only
wait a-
John Wells would come up with.
Now wait a minute. Where's the rest of the title?
The title's over. You won't learn where he's from.
Basically, the definitive.
Is what does Mars called Mars in the movie?
No,
or
it's called Barsoom, of course.
Oh, okay.
Arguably the definitive bounce of the last 15 years, the last 10 years.
Most definitive.
It is the shorthand. It has replaced Waterworld. It is the one of our era.
And it destroyed Disney in a way.
It kind
Absolutely broke Disney.
of changed everything. Then he rebounds with Finding Dory. He has this cushion that he can go back to his most successful film. And then in the year 2026, he returns with 2 films. In the blink of an eye, a Hulu original that came out months ago.
Everyone knows this. Yeah.
We all know this. And then what is guaranteed to be another one of the highest grossing films of all time, Toy Story 5, coming out this summer. A thing I was loath to cover on main feed, but David twisted my arm and I conceded maybe it is time to do Andrew Stanton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really had to bully you into this one. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on this one.
Of course.
Griffin has his gift bag.
Okay, I'm going to open
what's
my
in
gift
there?
bag. Let's see.
It's a
here.
lot of stuff you know about.
What's your number
Okay.
1 Peter Weir movie?
I mean, if it's not Master and Commander, it's Mosquito Coast. It was definitely Mosquito Coast for a long time.
Sure.
And then
Very Alex movie.
I was about to say.
rewatched Master and Commander when we did like a C series during the pandemic. And I had always liked the movie.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I forgot this is like one of the 50 canonically greatest films ever made, period. Like by human hands.
I have a bumper sticker that says, "Please stop honking. I'm trying to watch the 2025 major motion picture Pavements." Much appreciated.
Getting a lot of merch here.
It'd be funnier though if it was like Trumbo or something.
Oh,
like
these I've been asking you
Yes,
to hold on
this
to
is
forever.
stuff you know.
These are movie promotional stickers of my face from Pavement.
Oh,
nice.
These are bags I got. Are they the full band or are these just me?
There's the full band, but I brought the ones that had you in the front.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I just want to shout out with the bumper sticker that today I pulled in right after ARP into the parking garage, and I knew it was him because he had the Pavement.
I put that sticker on my car. Inherited the car from my grandmother, and I covered up the Biden-Harris bumper sticker that I couldn't take off with the Pavement's bumper sticker.
Good call.
Pavement's hat, Pavement's ball cap, the Tick versus Arthur VHS collection. Oh, it only has the one episode. It's a classic 21-minute VHS.
Yeah, that's right.
But you found this, and I immediately realized this is quite a pricey VHS on the secondhand market.
Well,
this tends to be going for over $100.
It goes for over $100?
Yeah.
That was $1 when I bought it.
It's crazy.
Well,
Yoked up Arthur carrying Carmelita, his love interest that we never got to in the live action show.
I've had that waiting for you for 9 months.
All of my love interests were not human on the show. And then of course the Buddy Christ, as seen in the hit film Dogma.
You guys are benefiting from me getting all the stuff from my dad's storage locker.
I really appreciate this.
All these sealed toys I forgot about.
And you know what? We're gonna take pictures and post it on social.
Yeah,
folks.
yeah. All these fun
It'll
presents.
be part of the carousel. What was the other thing you said you wanted in the carousel?
Ben's
Oh,
Spawn.
Future Spawn. Yeah. Arp, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, you had 2 movies last year.
Yeah.
Both of which people should watch.
So for this year?
The 0.
Oh, interesting.
For now,
for the year, I'm calling my shot.
you're calling your shot.
Yeah, much like Peter Weir.
This is no movie
I'd
year?
rather explore sunken World War II submarines than get out of bed at 6 a.m. to go be yelled at.
Well, I believe you do probably get out of bed at 6 a.m. to be yelled
Yeah,
at,
but not
given
by
that
like
you are a parent of a young child.
Not by like an AD.
Right,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah. Well, Video Heaven's on Criterion Channel. That's the only thing I
great
care
movie.
about people watching because I benefit directly from it.
Well, but
If you-
Pavement's is on movie.
Pavement's on movie,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to see a dime there. But Video
Okay.
Heaven, like, that's my movie.
Yeah,
It-
right.
it-
You own like the movie
Yeah.
outright.
Can you give the
practically.
quick pitch to people who don't know? Because
Very
if you
good. It's
listen to
worth
this
watching.
podcast, it's true, real nerdy
If
shit.
you've made it to cusp of hour 3 in a podcast, you would probably enjoy a 3-hour essay film about the history of videotape as a medium and video stores, told entirely through clips from movies and television depicting video stores as physical spaces.
Yes.
I made this movie, has 180 film and TV show clips in it, accompanied by a essay read by Maya Hawke.
And if you're hearing this and going, well, this sounds a little
Yeah, I don't know if I can listen to 3 hours of Blank Check and watch a
formal,
3-hour movie.
a little
at the same time.
educational, a little dry. Lest you be concerned, the last 30 minutes features Arp just doing a drive-by on like 15 early 2000s independent films.
It does feature Amy Heckerling's Loser.
It does.
I spent 10 years on this movie. Griffin walked out of seeing it and said, "What, no Freaky Tales?"
This is our running bit that I keep asking him why Freaky Tales didn't make the cut, and I keep demanding that News and Deals respects the existence of Freaky Tales, just that it exists.
Maybe give Tracy Letts a 4K of Freaky Tales.
Fuck, I don't know if it can arrive in time. Because that's Lionsgate Limited. I don't know what their quickest shipping option is. He's coming here in like 3 days.
Okay.
I was looking at overnighting some Amazon stuff, and Freaky
On
Tales
my
doesn't
train
have a
ride
wide release.
from upstate, there's the Lionsgate Studios on the Hudson.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you guys have seen this, David. It's like near Yankee Stadium. You ever seen the Lionsgate Studios? It might be past Yankee Stadium.
Probably.
We had to actually send one of our hats to that location because they're the production company that's involved with the John Hamm show.
Did that ever come out?
It's coming out soon. I
so
literally
that
got a
hasn't
text
happened
from a friend today watching a screener being like, are you guys aware John Hamm
Oh, yeah.
listens to your show
That's
on
that's
this
the
show?
thing.
your
I know,
fucking
that's why I'm
episode.
That's what we should plug. You're in an upcoming episode
Yes.
of Our Friends and Neighbors.
Forget about
Your
this
Friends and Neighbors.
Passion film that I spent 10 years on and love dearly. Watch this Apple show.
I love Video Heaven.
Yes, I love it too. And it's on the Criterion channel for the foreseeable future.
Great.
It's excellent.
But people are really watching it on there.
It's great.
That's
It-
They kept
It's-
sending out there like what's popular these days, and it was always up there.
It's highly recommended, and I just want to clarify that fat-cocked gentlemen thieves in New York City are always listening to the Halloween episode of Blank Check featuring Alex Ross Perry as depicted in the Apple Plus series.
So Blank Check fans can say they were there first.
Yes.
And yeah, people are always like, wow, that movie, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. That's insanely long. And I'm like, guys, if you listen to Blank Check,
Yeah, exactly.
if an episode of that
I
length
remember when you
drops-
told me, you're like, it's going to be about 3 hours. And I was like, oh, that's pretty long. You're like, I figure anyone who's watching this is cool with watching it
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
If a Blank
Like,
Check
if you
episode
already
comes
made the
out that's
decision.
250, people are like, I guess David had to be somewhere that day. This is a crazy amount of time to not spend marinating in the love of cinema.
I wanted to point out to you that we're
about to hit 3 hours.
About to hit 3 hours. So we are
I also
done.
feel like we wrapped up half an hour ago.
We wrapped up
we were kind of wrapping up.
Hour.
I looked up, it was 2:30. I felt
Ben
good.
agrees.
I felt
the exact same way, and now I feel less good, but I feel okay.
I think we're doing great, and I think everyone's gonna be really
But David, look on the brighter side. There's more toys.
There's more toys.
Just what I love.
For sound insulation.
So
this is his new thing, by the way, justifying that he keeps adding
if he
stuff.
suffocates us, then at least
for sound.
It's absorbing sound.
Yeah.
So tune in next week for Disclosure Day. Hope that rocks. And then we're doing Andrew Stanton. And then we're doing whoever won March Madness. I assume Chris Columbus.
Yeah. Do you want to claim one of those episodes now?
Bicentennial Man.
If he wins, I will tell on mic the story I'm about to tell you guys about why I find it so aggravating whenever you're like, and he's the nicest guy in Hollywood.
Can't wait.
I'll tell this story privately right now, and then I promise if he wins, I will come on and make people feel bad about this victory. There's no chance he's going to win.
No, I don't think so. But maybe he wins.
You've given me an idea here. Thank you all for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Tune in next week for Disclosure Day. Thank you all for riding the high seas of Peter Weir with us.
Absolutely.
And ARP, I'm going to read you a deadline announcement that just happened.
Okay.
Ben, can we bleep out the announcement? And I just want to get ARP's reaction to it.
Good.
Okay? So bleep out what I'm about to say, and then get ARP's reaction. Brings to direct and to script spinoff.
I mean, this is going to get the shit back on track. This is what the people want.
It's a real bummer.
This is definitely what the public wants.
When I think these three faces.
I appreciate that all the progressive gains of the last decade have been erased by the current political climate, but this is a bridge too far. We can't let people like this run Hollywood again.
And as always, or that was
the end as always.
Yeah, that's it.
At some point, there'll be a lag, and I can start unboxing this bag of presents.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Nothing for David, but what do you get for the man who has everything?
A little bit, yeah. People are having this. I'm going to turn 40 in a month, and everyone's like,
look,
what do I buy?
Look what he's got.
This
Look
is
what
40?
he's got recently.
Is that the stop sign?
Correct. And it's two-sided.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is to shut Griffin up, I think, is the idea.
Sometimes he
Did
feels
you
like
steal
the
this from a
podcast
construction
is
site?
going by too quickly.
Yeah,
He needs
right.
to slow it
Slow
down.
is definitely not something we really need to use.
Blank Check with Griffin and David is hosted by Griffin Newman and David Sims. Our executive producer is me, Ben Hostley. Our creative producer is Marie Barty Salinas. And our associate producer is AJ McKeon. This show is mixed and edited by AJ McKeon and Alan Smithy. Research by JJ Birch. Our theme song is by Lane Montgomery and the Great American Novel, with additional music by Alex Mitchell. Artwork by Joe Bowen, Ollie Moss, and Pat Reynolds. Our production assistant is Minnick. Special thanks to David Cho, Jordan Fish, and Nate Patterson for their production help. Head over to blankcheckpod.com for links to all of the real nerdy shit. Join our Patreon, Blank Check Special Features, for exclusive franchise commentaries and bonus episodes. Follow us on social at Blank Check Pod. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, Checkbook, on Substack. This podcast is created and produced by Blank Check Productions.